To the George Novak Field at the Wolverena, the Turtle Creek Stadium lair of the Woodland Hills High School Wolverines. And ladies and gentlemen, if you will all please rise at this time and honor America and join in the singing of our national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
It's time for Wolverine football presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lenigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, The Barber's Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, Fox's Pizza Den in Turtle Creek, Web Landings, and LG3 Entertainment. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverena, the Turtle Creek home of your Woodland Hills Wolverines. And tonight they take on the Gateway Gators in a Week 0 matchup. Woodland Hills coming off of a 9-3 season where they were runners-up out of the Allegheny 9 Conference. They fell to West Allegheny last year in the WPIAL semifinals, 35-7. Meanwhile, the Gateway Gators were the number 4 team coming out of the Big East Conference. They finished the season 7-5 overall, and they lost to the McKeesport Tigers in the WPIAL semifinals as well. Last year, these two teams met just up the road at Gateway High School, and it was a 37-21 victory for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We're going to step away for 90 seconds, and when we return, Bob Orquist and Rick McIntyre will join us for coverage of the Wolverines all across the Woodland Hills Football Network.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
We welcome you back to the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills takes on Gateway in a Week 0 matchup, non-conference between the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist up here in the booth. Down on the field, it is Rick McIntyre giving us all of the ground level coverage of today's game. And Bobby, a big game as these two teams really got things going late in the season last year.
Yeah, it's two teams you mentioned in the pregame, Adam, that made the semifinals. Second straight year that Woodland Hills has got to the semifinals and lost. For Gateway, they're motivated by the semifinal loss to McKeesport. They were 5 seconds away at finishing the season at Heinz Field in a shot at West Allegheny before McKeesport pulled off the miraculous win. So they're up for this season under head coach Don Hall, and a chance to get it started non-conference-wise here tonight at the Wolverena.
We're going to send it down to the field where our on-field reporter Rick McIntyre has some field lover coverage. And Rick, quickly touch on the pregame ceremony where they dedicated the field here at the Wolverena to George Novak, our coach years ago.
Yeah, Adam, that was something really special. I was honored to be a part of it. You can't ask for much more for an exciting night the way it opened this season. You know, brand new field, newly named, brand new head coach, playing against the oldest rivalry in the district with the Gateway Gators.
Well, it's going to be a big football game. And, Rick, as you were out there on the field, talk about the conditions. How does the new field feel, number one? And number two, what's the temperature like?
The temperature's ideal, I think, for football. It's a little bit warm. There's going to be a little bit of sweat going on, but the field itself is in fantastic shape. I had a chance to talk to some of the coaches beforehand, and everybody is just excited about the new surface. Everybody's really happy with it.
And we are nearly set for kickoff as Chucky Hanchett will be kicking it off for the Wolverines. And back deep to return are a pair of Gateway Gators. Courtney Jackson on the near side, or rather on the far side. On the near side is Derek Davis. Woodland Hills, they wear their home black jerseys, white pants, turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes. Near sideline of the Gateway Gators, they wear their all white road uniforms, black numerals, gold trim, black helmets with a gold stripe down the center. Fans ready for this big matchup between Woodland Hills and Gateway in week 0. Our referee, Bill Heidkamp, has given us the green light, and we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA. This ball down to the 5-yard line, where it'll be returned by Courtney Jackson. Jackson has a gap up the middle, and this is not how the Wolverines wanted to get this one started, as Jackson's going to break to the right-hand side to the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, and into the end zone for a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to start the season for the Gateway Gators.
It is absolutely not the way to want to get the season started if you're wearing turquoise and black. And Courtney Jackson coming back to for the Gateway Gators from last year, one of their expected playmakers, and he gets the 2017 season off with a bang, straight up the middle. Picked it up at the 5-yard line, avoided some initial contact, and went untouched 95 yards for the first score of 2017 for the Gateway Gators.
On to attempt the PAT for Gateway is Jason Jenkins, the freshman. The holder, Ethan Frenchick. Good snap, hold down. Wolverines were near the ball, but it will carry inside of the right upright and good. And we have played just 14 seconds of football, and the Wolverines have a deficit, trailing the Gateway Gators by a score of 7-0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills trails Gateway by a score of 7-0 after a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Courtney Jackson. The PAT up and in for Jason Jenkins. And you know, Bob, a lot of hype going into the game and maybe some early jitters by the Wolverines, and a big gap opened up and allowed Courtney Jackson to take it to the house.
Yeah, Jackson did. The junior was the returning leading receiver for Gateway and made the impact on special teams. He was first team All Big East last year, and the junior makes them pay in the first play of this game.
Woodland Hills on the return this time. It's Jordan Stankovic, and Stankovic will carry the ball up the middle, and he'll be brought down to the 38-yard line, and we'll see the Wolverines offense.
Brendan Majaka makes the tackle, but good field position. They tried the little short kick with Jenkins, the freshman kicker for Gateway, so Woodland Hills gets to touch the ball for the first time in this year at their own 38-yard line.
Ball in the center of the field. Woodland Hills breaks the huddle. And stepping under center is quarterback Daniel Jones, the senior. Fullback Krabs from left to right. Play action. Jones looking left. Now he'll look across the middle as he's pressured. He's wrapped, and a handful of Gators are there. The first one to the football was Tommy Woodson, the two-way lineman for the Gators.
Also pressure from Bryce Washington. Just a jailbreak as Jones, you mentioned it, Adam, play action, and then kind of was looking right, and then the pressure came, and it was initially Woodson there, but he was swallowed up by several other white jerseys. A loss of 9 on the sack of Daniel Jones. You see Woodson was looking to the near side, and the pressure came from the opposite side with Woodson. Also getting in there was Jeremiah Josephs. Nothing that Daniel Jones could do under that pressure.
Jones back under center. He's going to hand off this time to Rodney Denard, who has a big gap. He's going to run to the left-hand side. He's across the 40 to the 50 at first down. He's inside of Gators territory, sidestepping Gators. He'll be forced out of bounds along that far boundary around the 41-yard line. A flag came in from way downfield, and this may push the Wolverines back. And there is also a marker down back by the 28-yard line, and we're going to have to check in with our referee, Bill Heidkamp, to sort things out here. But initially, a big gain for Rodney Denard that may be negated.
It'll be 30 yards if it stands at the Gateway 41. So Denard making an impact, but the question is, will the flags negate that big gain by the senior Denard?
Illegal formation by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So a formational penalty against Woodland Hills negates the entire rush. So instead of second down and 19, it's now going to be second down and 24 for the Wolverines, way back at their own 24-yard line, this drive starting at their own 38.
Put that in the books as a 5-yard penalty, but technically a 35-yard penalty, and it takes away a first down after the nice run by Denard.
Christopher Curry, the freshman, steps over the football. Pitch to the left-hand side. The ball carrier, Jordan Stankovic, and he'll pick up a nice chunk of yardage. He'll cross the 40 out towards the 41-yard line, so a pickup of 17 on that carry, and it makes it a much more manageable third down and about 8.
Just simple. Pitch to the right, seal it off. Good job by the offensive line. Micah Lucas, the pulling guard, got out there as well as the block from the tackle, and Stankovic made one man miss, and the rest of the way, actually, is that Jaquan Smith who was carrying the ball? No, I got a different.
Oh, well, I'm going to say it is Jaquan Smith. I'm looking at the wrong roster. I usually keep Woodland Hills on the right, and, you know, first game jitters all around, and a timeout is called by Woodland Hills. We'll take this opportunity to catch our breath as well. 10-10 to play here in quarter number 1. Gateway leads Woodland Hills 7-0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gators on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back at the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills trails Gateway here 7-0. Third down and 8 as Daniel Jones is going to throw the ball down the near sideline. It's a jump ball, and the ball initially tipped by Nazir Taylor. Coverage by Isaiah Cameron, and the incomplete pass is going to bring the punt unit on for Woodland Hills.
Daniel Jones, the senior, did a nice job to step up away from the pressure, and he had Nazir Taylor initially, but couldn't get his legs totally under that throw. And it was a good recovery by Cameron, the defensive back, the free safety, to stop it. It kind of came a jump ball at the 24-yard line of the Gateway Gators, and Cameron at 5'8" got there underneath the 6'1" Nazir Taylor.
So 10:01 to play here in quarter number 1. A clock stopped. Michael Whitehurst, the punter, gets this one away with heavy pressure on him. It's going to bounce to the near sideline, taking a Woodland Hills roll, and will be downed at the 30-yard line. Coming down to tap it down is Marcus Taylor for the Wolverines. And let's send it down to the field for Rick McIntyre. He can let us know what he sees from field level.
From down here, obviously the opening kickoff looked like they were just coming right up the middle from the get-go. From my angle, you could have driven a U-Haul truck through that hole in that opening play.
Now, how about the Woodland Hills offense? What did you see, especially on the 2 long runs?
The 2 long runs, the one that got called back, I believe we didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, was a procedural call. And then on the last play there, it looked like maybe the quarterback could have ran that and possibly picked up the first down, but he saw a guy open, just couldn't quite get it to him.
Gateway on the field now with their offense. The quarterback, Jordan Stankovic, who I've mentioned a couple of times for the wrong team. Check that. The quarterback is Brady Walker. Walker pressured, steps up into the pocket, throws the pass high, and it's intended for Courtney Jackson, and Courtney Jackson can't come down with it, and he's tattooed on the way down by Nazir Taylor.
Gateway fans didn't like that. Brady Walker is a name to look out for, arguably the top quarterback in the 5A classification, coming in with over 4,000 career yards, a 3-year starter. He's got his sights set on becoming the all-time leading passer in Gateway. Did a nice job out of the empty set to avoid the pressure from his right, and when he stepped up, a little bit of a high pass, and maybe a questionable hit by Taylor there with the shoulder, but nonetheless, no foul, 2nd and 10.
Walker with a shovel pass to the near side left. The ball carrier Isaiah Cameron brought down on the play by Sidney Summers, and a gain of 5 brings up 3rd down and 5.
Nice job by Cameron, the middle linebacker, or Summers, excuse me, at 5'9", 193, the junior. Read the pitch, came on the angle to the near sideline and drops Isaiah Cameron down, forcing a 3rd and 5. Cameron is the sidecar with Walker on this 3rd down situation for the Gators.
2 receivers split to either side. Walker in the shotgun. Play action. Looks left, throws left, has the receiver open. The pass complete to Courtney Jackson, who already made 1 big play, and he'll pick up the 1st down for the Gators as Nazir Taylor makes the tackle inside of Wolverines territory at the 48.
It's the down and in, skinny post, and making his presence felt again is Courtney Jackson for the 1st down, a pickup of 16, first completion of the new season for Brady Walker, and first time the offense for Gateway is in the Woodland Hills territory.
Walker, he's going to hand off this time to Isaiah Cameron, and Cameron drives his way forward inside of the 45 to the 43-yard line before a couple of Wolverines are there to make the stop. And the gain of 6 brings up 2nd down and 4.
Cameron, the senior for the Gators at 5'8", 170. Picking up for Rashawn Tarrant, who was a big playmaker offensively and defensively for the Gators, who moved on to IUP.
Walker throws to the left-hand side. The pass complete to Isaiah Cameron. He'll break a couple of tackles, and he's off to the races. Finally wrapped and brought down inside of the Woodland Hills red zone at the 18-yard line by Sidney Summers. But a big pickup on that play of 25 yards.
Summers, a good job to get downfield, and that's just your simple play to Cameron. And I think a design pass to the right flat all the way to Cameron, because Walker took the pass and then just flipped it out to the far side before even looking anywhere else. Cameron did the rest. Inside the red zone are the Gators at the Woodland Hills 18-yard line.
Play action. Walker throws to the left. The pass intended for Brandon Kane, and the pass incomplete. And it's 2nd down and 10, the ball at the 18.
Just a little wide receiver screen. Jackson and Kane were both split out to the left side. And a little too high and too hard from Brady Walker, zipped through the hands. It was a situation where you're trying to hope that Courtney Jackson, if your Gateway gets a block, and Kane can do the rest, but he couldn't come down with that pass to the near boundary.
2 receivers on either side. Walker in the shotgun. High snap to his right shoulder. He'll dump it off. Screen to the near side left for Isaiah Cameron. Cameron slides through a tackle, and he'll be brought down by Sidney Summers at the 10-yard line. A pickup of 8, and it is 3rd down and 2.
Same play we saw earlier in the drive, except this time it came to the left. Keandre Tibbs, the senior linebacker for Woodland Hills, had the first opportunity to get Cameron in the left wrap. Cameron did a nice job to step inside of that tackle. And Summers, who's been very active on this drive, was able to get downfield. Good balance there by Cameron as well to keep his feet. Gets the ball to the 10-yard line for the Gators.
Walker's going to keep it himself, pitching it to the near side left to Courtney Jackson. Courtney Jackson to the near pylon. And they say it's a touchdown for the Gators, and Gateway leads Woodland Hills 13-0.
Good improvisational play there by Walker. Walker can run the football, so you need to be aware of that if you're Woodland Hills. But this time he felt some pressure. Didn't reset. He just kind of pushed it out there. Shotgunned it out to the near side to Courtney Jackson. Courtney Jackson has both touchdowns. Early going for the Gateway Gators, trying to have the extra point and make it 14-0 is Jason Jenkins. Real good job by Walker to feel that pressure and then just flipped it out, kind of shoveled it out to the near side.
And the PAT is up and in for Jason Jenkins, and the Wolverines trail the Gators by a score of 14-0 here at the Wolverena. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
From Brady Walker to Courtney Jackson, and Courtney Jackson scoring his second touchdown of the game. Puts the Gators on top 13-0. The PAT makes it 14-0. End-over-end kick that'll be returned by Jaquan Smith for the Wolverines from the 18-yard line. Smith's going to drive his way forward across the 30 out towards the 32-yard line, where he's brought down by a handful of Gators, including J.T. Thomas. And that is 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. They're going to say at the 33.
So another good field position start for the Wolverines at the 33. The first one started at their own 38. The first 4 minutes and 42 seconds of this quarter have been determined by mistakes by the Wolverines. A special teams mistake cost them a touchdown. 14 seconds in, a big penalty took away a 30-yard run by Rodney Denard, and some missed tackles cost them on the last touchdown drive by the Gateway Gators.
Rodney Denard's going to take the handoff on 1st down and 10, drives his way forward over left tackle across the 35 to the 37-yard line, a pickup of 4 for Denard. And Derek Davis on the tackle for the Gators.
Denard coming in. Saeed Holtz was the man last year for Woodland Hills. Denard comes back to pick up the slack in the backfield. Did a good job to just take it to the right. Good power. Good job, though, by Davis, the freshman, in there at the outside linebacker spot for the Gators to hold on, limit Denard to the 4-yard pickup.
Denard, the ball carrier again, and he's met in the backfield. Gateway tackle made by Tui Fa'u Muina Brown. I'm not going to get that by the end of the game.
Also some pressure coming up the middle, too, as Denard Fuomina Brown came in from the near side and just crashing up the gut. Maybe it was Tommy Woodson, but nowhere for Denard to go but backwards for the loss of 1. And then we get a timeout by the Gateway Gators.
The Gators are going to use their first timeout of the game, as Woodland Hills has used one as well. And that'll give us an opportunity to step away as well. Again, the scoreboard reads the Gateway Gators 14, the Woodland Hills Wolverines 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and surrounding areas for over 111 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home is pleased to announce the opening of their new crematory at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind, knowing that their loved one never leaves the care of Patrick King Lanigan Funeral Home, and that our crematory is used exclusively for the families we serve.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back to the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills trails Gateway by a score of 14-0. Daniel Jones flushed out of the pocket, forced out of bounds along that far sideline, shy of the first down marker. And the punt unit is going to have to come on again for Woodland Hills after Jones picked up about 4. He needed about 7.
Gateway's pressure has been evident in the first 2 series, a 9-yard loss on a sack in the first series, and this time forcing Jones to try to run for it to the far sideline, but coming up a little bit short. It'll be a punt situation. Courtney Jackson, who's already made his presence felt on special teams and offensively, back to receive for the Gators.
Punt away by Whitehurst, a wobbly kick that'll take a bounce in favor of the Wolverines. Jackson's going to corral it. He'll be met initially by one Wolverine. 2 others get a hand on him before the tackle is made by Sidney Summers, but the initial pressure by Marcus Taylor certainly slowed Jackson down.
Taylor did a good job. Jackson kind of fearless back there. That's a situation where a lot of times you'll see a returner let that go, but he picked it up to try to make the big play. Give Woodland Hills credit. Summers making another tackle. I think Michael Roman was also in and out on the special teams, but a good job to cover. Sometimes if you don't see the tackle made, that turns into a big play. Jackson was hoping to get it done. You mentioned it, Marcus Taylor, the long snapper there, and then Roman, and then Sidney Summers closing the deal on Jackson.
5:56 to play, quarter number 1. The ball at the Gateway 25. Walker looking left, throwing left, has all day to throw and does, off to Matthew Alfaro, and Alfaro is going to be dumped down by a pair of Wolverines across the 30 to the 31-yard line, where Sidney Summers is in on the tackle alongside of Marcus Taylor.
You call it Sidney Summers' name a lot. Middle linebacker all over the place. The 5'9", 193-pound junior. Just a simple play. Good protection by the Gateway Gators. You got the tight end Alfaro. He's a big boy onto the near sideline. Tried to slip under the grass, slip out of the grass of Marcus Taylor, but they bring him down, but not before he picked up 6 yards.
Walker's going to keep it to the near side left. He's going to pitch it off on a long option, and the ball carrier, Brandon Kane, is finally brought down after picking up a Gateway first down at the 42-yard line. And the Wolverines are on their heels again.
Again, improvisation by Brady Walker. Mentioned he's kind of a dual threat. He had enough for the first down, but he saw the pressure coming and flipped it to the near boundary. Good thing for the Gators that Brandon Kane was alert. He picked up an additional 5 or 6 yards after that extended lateral, that extended option.
Handoff this time going to go to Isaiah Cameron, and Cameron's going to drive his way across the 50-yard line to the 49, where the tackle's made by Marcus Taylor.
Denard as well, but Cameron has looked good running the football. 11 yards on the first 2 pickups, and this time he picks up another 8. Just coming, a nice cutback too. They give it to Cameron. He was going right. He got out of the grasp of Rawlings. Denard on the near side along with Taylor as he cut it back, picks up the 8 yards. And we'll bring up a 2nd and 2 for the Gators. They're back into Woodland Hills territory.
Walker off of play action, has time to throw. He's going to throw it across the middle, and the pass appeared to be intended for Courtney Jackson, but the closest person to the football was Wolverine D-back Nazir Taylor. He grasps his helmet, Bob, because he thought he had an opportunity for a pick had he been watching the ball, not the receiver.
No question about it. Taylor, the senior, thought he should have had the interception. You mentioned it, Walker, a little miscommunication with Jackson. Taylor did a good job, though. His primary responsibility is to pay attention to the receiver. But down 14-0 in this first quarter, Wolverines would have loved the turnover.
Walker's going to hand off. The ball carrier is Isaiah Cameron, and he'll drive his way forward, picking up the first down for the Gateway Gators to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 6 on that play. The tackle made by Josh Rawlings.
Gateway is kind of winning the battle up front. This is one of the smaller units offensively, defensively, as far as the interior line that Woodland Hills has put up in a while. It's usually a staple on this team, and Gateway is taking advantage of it with their size up front, their experience as well. Slaughter and Woodson, Cleveland as well on that offensive line.
Handoff this time to Cameron, and he has nowhere to go as the tackle made by DeJuan Howells. And the Wolverines make the stop in the backfield, a 2-yard loss on the play.
Well, that's a good job to just shut the door right there by DeJuan Howells. Sophomore, but he's 5'11", 284. He kind of split the gap. He went diagonally to his left and stood Isaiah Cameron up, dropped him back at the 45 for the loss of 2.
So 2nd and a dozen, the ball at the 45. High snap, Walker in the shotgun, looks back left as they set up the receiver's screen, and driving his way forward is Brandon Kane. And Kane brought down at the 35-yard line for a pickup of 10 yards as Nazir Taylor makes the tackle for Woodland Hills.
Again, just very simple. Screen all the way to the left side. Walker took the snap, looked right, and you knew it was coming back this way as the interior linemen were pulling to the near boundary. Kane got the pass. Good block by the tight end, Matt Alfaro, to get out there. Also leading the way, Kanan Cleveland for the Gators for the pickup of 10.
Handoff this time going to Isaiah Cameron, and he has nowhere to go as Howells is in there to make the stop. The 5'11 sophomore who we talked about moments ago, he played a lot as a freshman last year, and those minutes certainly paying off on this drive.
No question about it. Really good tackle. Cameron, Adam, was having a good game and a good first quarter so far before the last 2 stops by Howells for negative yardage. So you like to see that. He's picking up his play as the big sophomore, DeJuan Howells.
Hard count by Walker, and just as we praise Howells, he steps into the neutral zone, and that is going to cost Woodland Hills 5 yards.
Prior to the snap,
maybe a first down as
well.
well.
By the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Bill Heitkamp does confirm that. Sometimes you get too hyped up playing on that line. Howells had made 2 big tackles in 2 of the last 3 plays and tried to guess the snap count, was drawn off by the hard count by Brady Walker, and that gives the Gators their 5th first down.
2:17 to play in quarter number 1. Adam Gusky and Bob Orquist up here in the booth. Down on the field, Rick McIntyre. And it's going to be 4th and very short.
4th and a little bit, as Bill Heitkamp explained.
So I wonder if they have 4th and a little bit for the scoreboard.
I think it's on the green page in the Gators playbook as well.
Walker in the shotgun. Play action, looking left, throwing left, and Rodney Denard breaks on the football, swats it to the turf, incomplete. And turnover on downs, and the Wolverines stop the Gators for the first time today.
Just a little down and in for Brandon Kane, the senior. Denard was good on the coverage. Kane did get the inside position, but give credit to Denard. Not sure if he got a handle on that, but he did affect the concentration of Kane. So 4th down and a little bit is enough for Woodland Hills to get the ball back on the turnover and downs.
Coach Hall for Gateway really taking a chance there. The Gators have been running the football reasonably efficiently, and they go for the pass there on 4th and short.
Trying the element of surprise. Denard was not surprised, and let's see what Woodland Hills can do with their 3rd possession.
Daniel Jones steps under center, slot to the right, receiver split to either side, and Denard is the tailback. Slot crabs to the left. Denard the carry to the left-hand side, and a face mask is grabbed there as Denard was brought down about 5 yards deep in the backfield. Now we have a flag on the near side that may go against Woodland Hills pre-snap, or maybe Gateway encroach the neutral zone. Add to that the fact that no doubt Denard's face mask was grabbed.
It's either going to be offsetting or it's going to be good for Woodland Hills. That flag went down early, and generally you're thinking that it was a formational penalty against Woodland Hills. If that were the case, these penalties may offset.
There are 2 fouls in the play. Illegal formation by the offense. Personal foul, face mask by the defense. Those penalties offset, replayed it down, first down.
So it will be 1st down and 10. So the Wolverines do dodge a bit of a bullet there as they don't get charged with the penalty or the 4 or 5 yard loss by Rodney Denard on the carry. 2:06 to play here in the first quarter. Woodland Hills trailing Gateway 14-0. Jones under center eye backfield. Looks left the whole way. He's hit Now he eludes one tackler, and it'll be spun down by the second one. The stop made by Kanan Cleveland for Gateway.
Josh Taylor just stood Daniel Jones up, and a good job by the senior Jones to get away from that. I thought he was dead to rights by the freshman Taylor, but he spun out of that. But unfortunately for Jones, he spun in to the senior Kanan Cleveland's arms, and that's the second sack of the first quarter for the Gators.
-6 on the loss for Daniel Jones. He now has 2 carries officially for -15 yards.
Did a good job, too. He didn't really see the pressure coming in from Taylor, but he got away from it. But right into Cleveland, who got rid of his block from Denard.
Jones off of play action, rolling left. Has to tuck and run now as he picks up some blockers. He'll bring it back to the near side. Daniel Jones having some room, has one man to beat, and a nice open field tackle there by Courtney Jackson prevents Daniel Jones from picking up the first down. But Jones made something out of nothing there all the way to the near side.
I believe if it's anyone under than Courtney Jackson, Jones can get to the near boundary and pick up the first down. But a good job by Jones to escape the pressure from all the way to the far sideline in front of the Woodland Hills bench. And again, it was Cleveland on the pressure. Alfaro missed the tackle. Jones did get a nice block coming back as sticking his shoulder in there was Tyrell Barlow for the Wolverines. And Jones gets 13, actually called 14 out to the 41-yard line.
Power eye backfield. Handoff goes to the second man through. The ball carrier is Anthony Bullock, and the tackle made by Tommy Woodson. And it'll be shy of the first down marker. The line to gain was the 43-yard line. He was brought down around the 42.5. Whitehurst comes on, but Tim Bostard, the new head coach for Woodland Hills, is going to have an opportunity to think this one over as the Gateway Gator is injured. Kind of had an abbreviated pregame show, Bob, so let's talk about some things that are new to Woodland Hills. We talked with Rick McIntyre down there on the field about the new turf, but I just mentioned his name. The new head coach of the Woodland Hills Wolverines is Tim Bostard, a longtime assistant under George Novak, and played with me back in the mid-'90s.
And I think the right man to come in to take the job. It's the first time since this inception of the school district and this football team that there's been a change on the sideline. So you've got consistency and really great play and great teams all those years under George Novak. Tim Bostard, being a player and a longtime assistant coach, knows. I'm going to steal a Tomlinism, if I will. The standard is the standard here at Woodland Hills. Tim Bostard knows that all too well.
Without a doubt, Tim played on the 96 championship team and then was a volunteer assistant for the championships in 01 and 02, and then a paid assistant in the 09 championship, so he's been around a long, long time. Handoff this time is going to go to Christopher Jones, and he's got enough for the first down on 4th and short. Tackle made by the Gateway Gators, Tommy Woodson. A nice pickup there, and the Wolverines have their first offensive first down of the game.
5-yard pickup for Jones, kind of a maybe just hinting the Wolverines were at the quick kick formation with Jones back there at the quarterback spot, but they pick up the first down on the final play of the first quarter.
The scoreboard reads the Gateway Gators 14 and the Woodland Hills Wolverines 0. It's Woodland Hills and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Set to begin quarter number 2 here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, and we welcome listeners on the MSA Sports Network as well. Some technical difficulties preventing them from catching the first quarter, but the second quarter will start with Gateway leading Woodland Hills 14-0. A pair of touchdowns by Courtney Jackson, one on the opening kickoff of the game, a 95-yard kickoff return, and then his second TD was an 11-yard reception from quarterback Brady Walker. Woodland Hills looking for their second first down of the game, and they're going to throw the ball down that far sideline. Nazir Taylor is the intended receiver, as Daniel Jones is the quarterback, and Jones 0 for 2 in the air today.
Taylor wanting some of the incidental or not incidental contact on Jackson. I like that matchup. Jackson, 6 foot, 165 junior. Taylor, 6'1", senior. Just a one-on-one, straight fly pattern down the far sideline. That's a situation where you've got two very good athletes going at it. Jackson might have got away with a little bit of a grab there. The ball went out of bounds.
Daniel Jones in the shotgun. Receivers split to either side. Sidecar to his left as Denard motions from right to left. The ball is dropped by Daniel Jones. The play action intended for Denard, covering it up is Keandre Tibbs for the Wolverines. And it will be a loss of about 1 on the play, bringing up 3rd down and 11. Adam Gusky and Bob Orquist up here in the booth. Down at the field is Rick McIntyre, and we're going to send it down to him after this play to see what he can tell us about what he sees from field level.
Not sure, Adam, on that play if it was designed to go to Tibbs on the counter as Denard came in motion to the near boundary and going back the other way. Never know. Good job by Tibbs to get on that, keeping the Woodland Hills with the football, but 3rd and long.
Daniel Jones steps up into the pocket as he's spun momentarily, fakes one player out for a moment, but he's brought down from behind by Tommy Woodson. And a gain of about a yard there for Daniel Jones, brings up 4th down and 11. Let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre lets us know what he sees from the Woodland Hills offense on this most recent drive.
Thanks, Adam. I think Bob hit it right on the head earlier when he was talking about controlling the line of scrimmage. What I'm seeing from down here is the white jerseys are pushing black jerseys, and they're doing it with seemingly fairly easily.
Punt away by Michael Whitehurst, but a flag comes in before the snap. The umpire throwing it at the line of scrimmage. And we'll check in with our referee, Bill Heidkamp.
False start by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down or remains 4th down.
Another penalty, 3 penalties in this game, all flagged against the Woodland Hills Wolverines. I think another situation that the Wolverines have a problem with is maybe the athleticism. Woodson is a junior, 6'3", 240, so he's not necessarily the biggest. And Cleveland is a senior. He's only 6 foot 205. Those guys are very athletic on the interior for the Gators.
Michael Whitehurst gets the punt away, and it will take a hop in favor of the Wolverines for a moment, and then Marcus Taylor will down it at the 30-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Gateway Gators.
The defense is kind of settled in for the Wolverines, stopping the Gators on the last possession on the 4th and short to get the ball back, but kind of need a big play to get some momentum back. If you're Woodland Hills, you've been behind the 8 ball, so to speak, Adam, from the initial play of this game where Courtney Jackson took the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown.
So Gateway setting this drive at their own 30-yard line. They'll come straight from the near sideline to the line of scrimmage. Brady Walker, the quarterback for Gateway, 6'2" senior. Alone in the backfield with trips right, 2 receivers to the left. Now he'll motion Alfaro from right to left. Walker feels some pressure from his right-hand side. He'll step up into the pocket, running to the near side right. He's got the 1st down and much, much more into Woodland Hills territory. Finally brought down at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 25 yards for Brady Walker, and the Wolverines are backed up into their own territory again.
Walker can beat you with his legs as well. 28 touchdowns, over 2,800 yards passing last year, but he also ran the football for 490 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he is very comfortable of tucking it under and very successful at it on that play. You mentioned 25 yards, and just like that, Gateway right back into Woodland Hills territory.
Shotgun, Walker trips left, looks left, throws left. The pass is complete to Brandon Kane, and Kane in open field before he's brought down. Tackle on the play made by Sidney Summers. Pickup of 9 and a flag on the play. We'll check in with Bill Heidkamp once that gets sorted out. At least initially, it's a 9-yard gain. And, we've talked about Sidney Summers, a teammate of Rick and mine back in the early and mid-'90s. And his son has been out there doing good things for the Wolverines thus far today.
Of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, First down.
So the spot foul takes the ball back to the 49. So called a 4-yard pickup. 7 of 11 for 80 yards for Brady Walker in this first half. First penalty of the game flight against the Gators. You like that? Mike Caprera always comes to mind when you're talking about linebackers. Yezevich as well here at Woodland Hills. Summers just sliding right in there. He's been everywhere on the field, including on the special teams.
Walker pass to the near side, and the pass completed to Jeremiah Josephs, who will spin away from the aforementioned Sidney Summers and then be brought down by Nazir Taylor at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 11 on that pass play, and that will bring up second down and about 5 for the Gateway Gators.
Just a simple play. A little slant pattern and getting inside Marcus Taylor was Jeremiah Josephs. Taylor kind of lost control or lost track of where Josephs was going, and then Josephs just tucked it under and ruled for an additional 4 yards after the catch.
Ball carrier this time met in the backfield. Isaiah Cameron is brought down by Damian Thomas, and a loss of 4 on that play brings up third down and 9.
Cameron not going anywhere. 6 foot, 225-pound Thomas in there from his defensive line position. No chance for Isaiah Cameron to get away from that. We saw Howells make a couple of plays in the interior for Woodland Hills earlier in the game. This is the first time we see Thomas, the senior, get a stop for negative yardage.
Walker in the shotgun. He's going to set up the screen, dumping it off for Isaiah Cameron, and Cameron will drive his way inside of the 30 to around the, or inside of the 40 rather, to the 37-yard line. And it seemed like Nazir Taylor was being held right around the 40. And while that would have been shy of the first down, I think that this is going to be a decision where Woodland Hills pushes the Gators back.
I think it's going to be an illegal block on Bryce Washington.
During the play, illegal block in the back by the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, third down.
Spot of the foul, the 41. They'll back the ball up to the 49 of the Gateway Gators. Again, the line to gain is the Woodland Hills 35, so this is third down and 16.
Sorry, I've been impressed with Cameron running the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield. That is his third catch, even though it gets abbreviated by the penalty, but he's ran the ball well in this first half for the Gators. The senior, 5'8", 170. Woodland Hills needs to be aware of where number 24 is at all times.
Walker, pressured late, throws it down the near sideline, and a nice defensive play there. Michael Coleman going step for step with the intended receiver. He just reached up with the left hand and swatted the ball away from Travis Thompson II.
I looked it up, and that is textbook coverage. There was a picture of Michael Coleman, the junior defensive back at 6'1", 161, stride for stride on the coverage with Thompson, and he did a great job to locate the football and then had his hand back to be aware of where the receiver Thompson was, and then went up with the left hand. Perfectly played by Michael Coleman on the PD.
Jarrell Thomas on to punt this away for Gateway. This will be their first punt of the football game on 4th down and 16 at their own 49. Good snap. And it's booted away by Thomas. Woodland Hills calling Peter to get everybody away from the football. It'll bounce out of bounds at the near sideline. It'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at their own 24-yard line. And send it back to the sideline where Rick McIntyre will join us. And Rick, from my vantage point, certainly seems like there's a lot of jawing going on, but immediately after the jawing, or a little something to say after the play is done, a little pat on the backside as well.
Yeah, Adam, I've seen that as well. I think there's a little bit of frustration on the part of the Wolverines right now. I don't think they expected to come out and get punched in the mouth the way they have so far. And, the few bright spots that we've seen, a few of them have been called back by penalties. But let's see how the battle of attrition goes with a lot of these Gateway big men going both ways.
7:54 to play here in the second quarter. Woodland Hills starting this drive at their own 24. Jones under center, delay handoff. The ball carrier is Jaquan Smith, who had a great game a year ago against Fox Chapel. This time picks up a couple of yards, maybe 3, out to the 28.
Rick talked about it earlier. These two teams, territorial rivals. They've played a lot. Last year, though, was the first time they had met since the 2012 playoffs. So nice non-conference between these two teams. And it's a good test, too. You like to get it both of these teams just with one scrimmage, and then you get into the week 0 action hot and heavy here. And there's Smith picking up a gain of 3 on a second carry.
Jones off of play action. Rolls to his right, has some time. Now he's going to tuck and run across the 30. Close to the first down markers. Will be forced out of bounds. They're going to say at the 33-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of about 6 yards for Daniel Jones, bringing up a 3rd and manageable 2.
Good patience by Daniel Jones. What I liked about it, number one, he kept the ball up in his shoulder in that cocked position, so you're getting the defense to freeze because you think he could still throw the football, and then he was comfortable enough to roll around the right end and turn it towards the boundary, bringing up the 3rd and short. We'll call it about 2, maybe 1.5 for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. They need just to get to the 35, over the 35, to pick up the first down.
You're looking at George Novak Field at the Wolverena on a perfect night for the first week of high school football in western Pennsylvania. Temperature in the high 60s. The sun shone most of the day. Fullback Krabs to the left, handoff Rodney Denard. He's got the first down across the 35 out towards the 39-yard line. As the clock stops for the first down, as Rodney Denard picks up about 6.
Good power run by Denard. You mentioned a perfect night weather-wise, also a perfect way to celebrate the storied career of George Novak. You played under him. You've dealt with him for a long time, as have I. Cannot get a better honor than to have his name adorn this field here at the Wolverena. If you couldn't make this place any more special than it was to begin with, you have done that by doing that.
Handoff, Rodney Denard running to the left, and he is wrapped and brought down in the backfield by Caden Cleveland, a 6-foot senior for the Gators. A loss of 1 on that run by Denard. And Bobby, talk about the history of this place. This summer, something even more great happened to this place. You know, we know that years and years ago, a Heisman Trophy winner played on this football field for Turtle Creek High School. And then this past summer, Jason Taylor,
HOF,
into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Played for Coach Novak for a couple of years here on the Woodland Hills football team.
Thanked him in his induction speech as well.
Pass to Nazir Taylor, complete inside of Gators territory to the 49-yard line before he's driven back. They're going to say that he gathered himself and drove his way forward back to the 50, maybe the 49. We'll see what the official spot is. Regardless, it's a 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills on the first completed pass for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, also the first completion was going to make mention. A good pattern, that's just almost a timing pattern, as Jones was kind of looking to the near side for Taylor all the way, and that's a situation the receiver needs to be alert, because once Taylor made his break towards the near hash, the ball was right there. He was inside the defensive back. They do pick up the first down on the gain of 14.
Jones in the shotgun, sidecar to his right, twins to either side. Now Taylor motions from left to right. Handoff going to go to the tailback instead. Christopher Jones has a Woodland Hills first down as he's brought down at the 37-yard line. Tackle for the Gators by Jordan Stankovic.
2 positive and bigger positive plays for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. The previous play, the 14-yard completion to Taylor from Jones on his first completion, and then a quick hitter for Christopher Jones, the junior, at 5'10", 202, going between the right guard and right tackle to pick up 12 additional yards and back-to-back first downs for Woodland Hills.
Daniel Jones in the shotgun, sidecar to his left in Jaquan Smith as Denard motions from left to right. Handoff goes to Smith on the counter. He'll spin his way to the 35-yard line where the tackle's made by Matt Alfaro.
Kind of a counter, and again, they've brought Denard in motion, and have used that a couple times where Denard is kind of the decoy. He comes from right to left, they fake the handoff, and they counter. There was a hole there for Jaquan Smith if he went towards the tackle, but he cut it back to the middle of the field inside the guard hole, the 2-hole, I guess you could call it, and it was Alfaro who grabbed on and held Jaquan Smith to a 2-yard pickup.
Trips right, one receiver to the near side left. Smith, the sidecar next to Jones. Pass to Rodney Denard, and the pass complete to Rodney Denard, and he is met 2 yards deep in the backfield by Courtney Jackson, who was all over the field early in the first quarter, now makes a big defensive play there for the Gators.
Denard, really no chance to catch that and turn around. As if we were talking about wrestling, that would be a 2-point takedown and a textbook tackle by Courtney Jackson in the left flat. Nothing Denard could do. They get 2, they lose 3 on that completion to Denard. Guess technically the guard and center hole is the one gap. Let me just correct that. You're a lineman, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Was that long ago?
No, it was just getting hit in the head that many times.
Okay, there's that as well.
Trips left, one receiver to the far side right. Jones looking left the whole way. Throws to his left, and the pass initially looked to be for Jaquan Smith, but he was tripped up. Some incidental contact between he and Derek Davis, and the incomplete pass brings up 4th down. And in this situation, does Tim Bostard bring on the punt unit, or do we see the Wolverines try offensively here? Now, the Wolverines are going to keep the offense out there.
Whitehurst comes out, who is the punter, also a quarterback and a wide receiver, so we're guessing. And Jones is out there. Whitehurst is in the wide receiver position, so the offense is out there on 4th and 11.
Jones rolling to the near side left. He's pressured. He's bouncing off of Gators. He's going to tuck and run. He's got a lot of room in front of him. Inside of the 30, close to the first down marker, and tries to drive his way to that flag. He's at the 28. He needed to get to the 27. It'll depend on that spot, and I think he's going to come up a yard shy.
Jones did a great job bouncing off the pressure. You called it, second time we've seen that. We have an injury back near midfield. What Jones didn't do especially well at the end was pick up the sticks. He made a move to try to cut to the far side. He was coming to his left to the near side. All he needed to do was keep going. Then he picks up the first down. He tried to cut it back opposite way for additional yardage. He needed 11. He picked up 10. Looks like Woodland Hills is going to turn the ball over on downs. It is Kenan Cleveland, who's down. Looking at the right leg, although it's pleasant weather for us, hot out there for those players, and could be a cramp type situation.
I think this is the second time Cleveland is down with cramps.
Alfaro had some cramps earlier too, so even though we're in the mid-60s and it's very comfortable as far as watching the game, yeah, they're putting maybe some water out there too, but they're looking at the right leg of Cleveland.
We're going to take this opportunity to step away again. It is the Gateway Gators 14 and the Woodland Hills Wolverines 0. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional,
just let me know when you're ready.
easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills and the Gateway Gators here at the Wolverena. We're going to send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre is with the new athletic director at Woodland Hills.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. I'm standing here with Mr. Ron Corsi. First of all, I want to welcome you to the district, and maybe hear you say a couple words about your reception to the district so far and what it's like to see your first game here and having the field dedicated to Mr. George Novak.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Very, very special night. Obviously, I'm replacing the man, the myth, the legend, George Novak, after 30 years, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be here. I've been very well received. Everybody is going out of their way to introduce themselves to me, and I'm very excited to be here.
Thanks, Ron. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Rick, and thanks, Ron, as Woodland Hills sees the first play for Gateway, a pickup on that of about 5 yards.
It was Isaiah Cameron, just a toss sweep to the near side, to the left, 5-yard pickup, and a good fake that time by Walker.
Walker pressured in the backfield, sidesteps some Wolverines and drives his way forward close to that first down marker. He may be a yard short before being brought down by a Wolverine. Tackle made by Jaden Lucas.
He's very comfortable scrambling. Talked about his running ability. Did a good job because here's the initial ball fake. And right in the belly, pulled it out. Good read by Teron Best. Forced him back to the inside, and then Walker had to come back to his right and then back to his left. And he picks up 4 in a great scramble.
Handoff going to Isaiah Cameron, and you could hear the collision way up here as Cameron was blasted by Anthony Bullock, but not before he picked up the first down.
Pads on pads. You absolutely could hear the crack up here, but give credit to Cameron. He saw the defender coming and was able to lower his shoulders and pick up the first down. Good hit by Bullock, as you mentioned, at the junior, but not enough to stop Cameron from picking up the yard to gain.
Walker on a hitch and go. Throws it down the field, and Walker split a pair of receivers. And I'm not sure who he was looking for, but either way, neither one of them was anticipating the football. Looked like Brandon Mahoka may have broken off of the route incorrectly.
Yeah, and Coleman, what do? You saw 2 white jerseys and 1 black jersey, and it was Michael Coleman, the defensive back, on the coverage. You need to pick one of them. He did pick the right one because the pass was to the inside boundary instead of the outside boundary, but that's a case of a missed coverage and I believe a missed pattern, as you mentioned as well, for the Gators.
Walker going to set a back to his left-hand side, and Jay Johnson bobbles the snap, but able to gather it in and throw the pass to Travis Thompson II, who is off to the races, sidestepping one Wolverine, and finally brought down from behind by Anthony Bullock, but not before. A big gainer for the Gateway Gators, covering 25 yards.
That's a little comeback wide receiver screen to Travis Thompson on the near side, and he comes back to it. You have blockers out there. You see one of the interior linemen coming out. Just a chip by Woodson to make that happen, and the rest done by the speed of Travis Thompson getting downfield before being dropped from behind by Bullock.
2 receivers to either side. Walker off of play action, looks down the middle, has some time as he'll step to his left. Now he's going to dump it off. He was just behind the line of scrimmage and then throws the football complete to Travis Thompson, who pays the price as he is hammered by Sidney Summers.
Big hit. Took the hit to make the play. I thought that was a case where Walker was going to tuck it under, but he kind of shoveled it out there on the far side of the field to Travis Thompson. And you mentioned it, Sidney Summers, a big lick right at the sticks. It's going to be about a yard or half a yard short of the first down, but good improvisation again by Brady Walker. Better tackle by, actually we thought it was Summers.
Yes, Michael Coleman came off the field a little shaken up after that blast of a hit. Now the pass, Walker looking for the dump-off man, and Isaiah Cameron, who was streaking along the line of scrimmage, and he just lost control of the football. Incomplete, and it is 3rd down and about a half a yard.
That's a case Cameron taking his eyes off the football and thinking he's got yardage, and he did have Green to the near sideline. But again, a simple play coming to the middle of the field, and see if Cameron makes that catch. He does have room to come to the near sideline, but you got to secure the ball before you put the feet down on the turf, and Cameron did not do that, forcing the incompletion in the 3rd and about a yard, less than a yard actually, for the Gators.
Walker off of play action on 3rd and short, sets his feet, throws to the end zone, and wide open was Travis Thompson II, and he just dropped the football.
Grabbing at his right knee, 2 plays in a row. Isaiah Cameron drops a inside route, and this a post pattern, and a touchdown to Travis Thompson II, the senior, and he drops the football, and he's in pain in the end zone to our right.
You hate to see that, and that was a situation where his feet were set, and then he tried to move and came down awkwardly, and that is not good for the Gateway Gators wide receiver, Travis Thompson II.
Again, you hope that's just a cramp situation for Travis Thompson.
You would hope so. 1 minute to play here in the 2nd quarter, and Gateway leads Woodland Hills by a score of 14-0. Now, Bob, really the Gateway Gators came out a house of fire, scoring 2 quick touchdowns, especially that kickoff return for a touchdown, then the big offensive drive that ended in a TD. But the Wolverines seem to have gotten their feet underneath them, especially defensively.
Yeah, no question about that. 4:35 into this game, it was 14-0, and Gateway had all the momentum. And a big stop, I think, on that 4th and short by Woodland Hills to get some momentum back defensively. They have turned the tide a little bit. It's been even since that Courtney Jackson start for the Gateway Gators. He has both touchdowns on the game for Gateway. And you mentioned it. It's hard to be down 7-0 14 seconds into your season.
Let's send it down to the field where Rick McIntyre can let us know what he thinks from field level about this most recent defensive stand by Woodland Hills.
Yeah, thanks again, Adam. I think Bob just hit the hammer on, right on the nail, right on the head again. The momentum really feels like it's starting to shift in the way of the Woodland Hills team. When they jumped up 14-0 real quick, this sideline was energetic, was popping at the mouth, running around, going crazy. Since that 4th and short stop, it seems like Woodland Hills has kind of shut them up a little bit, and we'll see what happens with some of these injuries leading into the second half.
Woodland Hills taking on Gateway here at the Wolverena tonight. Next week, they travel to Baldwin for a conference game against the Highlanders, then back to the Wolverena, where they will have a pair of home games against Fox Chapel in conference, and then they'll step out of conference to take on the Penn Trafford Warriors on September 15th, and a couple of conference games wrap up September at Shar Valley and at Hampton, the first time that the Wolverines have traveled to those two schools. 4th and short for the Gators. Walker in the shotgun, rolls to his right, throwback screen to the left. The lob pass falls into the hands of the receiver, Isaiah Cameron. He'll run down that far sideline. He'll reach the ball across the goal line for a Gateway touchdown, and with 48.5 seconds to play in the second quarter, the Gators have extended the lead to 20-0.
Oh, scary pass for Brady Walker. Put it up there, and that's a kind of pass. If there are any Wolverine defenders over there, that's a big chance to be intercepted, but there weren't really any. There were actually 2 receivers over there for Gateway. Cameron was the man who picked it up, went down the far sideline, lost the football as he got to the pylon, but he broke the plane, and Gateway scores early in this game, and they score late in the second quarter to take a 20-0 lead, and another Gateway player down to the turf with cramps. This time it's Cleveland once again.
Let's take a look at the Triangle Bar and Grill replay. There may have been a fumble on that play. Let's take a look one more time here as Cameron was running down that far sideline.
The only question is,
that ball came out without a doubt, Bobby.
That's true. Before he got to breaking the goal line, that's about the 2-yard line that ball was out. So he didn't. If you're fumbling, crossing the plane and fumbling, touchdown. That was not, should be a touchback, and the ball should be Woodland Hills football.
Yeah, we had a great angle on that, thanks to our operator outside, Joe Slick, for having that shot perfect. And the ball fumbled at the 2-yard line. It carried through the end zone and out of bounds.
Can Tim Bostard reach for a red flag?
I don't know that there is replay in high school football because not everybody has what we have here at the Woodland Hills.
Not everyone has Joe Slick on it.
Right.
You're right. Should be negated. A touchdown for the Gators.
Well, I think the initial signal was a touchdown for Gateway. And they appear to be setting the ball for a PAT or a 2-point conversion, though from our vantage point, it was crystal clear that the ball carrier, Isaiah Cameron, fumbled the ball at around the 3.
There's the next week's game. 4 coaches making debuts in this conference. Tim Bostard tonight. 2 other coaches, Chartiers Valley's Dan Naus and Ryan Lynn at Moon, are making their debuts. Lauren Coley is the new head coach at Baldwin. They are waiting a week. Baldwin does not have a week 0 game. Their first game of the year will be against Woodland Hills next week here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
And the PAT by Gateway's Jason Jenkins up and in, and with 48.5 seconds to play here in quarter number 2, the scoreboard reads the Gateway Gators 21, the Woodland Hills Wolverines 0.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd district since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
One to nothing, a 25-yard touchdown pass by Brady Walker to Isaiah Cameron puts the Gators on top, 21-0. Unfortunately, after taking a look at the replay and even on field level, Rick McIntyre said he could see that ball squirted out of the hands of Cameron at around the 3, maybe 2-yard line.
Cameron 25 yards at the ground. He's caught 4 passes for 62 yards in the touchdown. Walker is up to 150 yards unofficially and 2 touchdowns here in this first half. Late touchdown. We talked about Woodland Hills kind of stalemating Gateway after the early 2 scores, and that kind of hurts.
Kick away by Jason Jenkins, and it will be returned by Wolverines' Jaquan Smith. Smith turns the corner to that far sideline, dragging a white jersey with him across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Woodland Hills offensively has had good field position. Just haven't had really any big plays. One of the big plays in this first half was a penalty. And It was the procedural call that wiped off the 30-yard run of Rodney Denard on the first possession when it was just 7-0. Maybe if you continue that drive and score, it's a different story instead of being down 21-0. Woodland Hills here late in the second quarter, trailing by 21.
Daniel Jones under center, eye backfield behind him. He's going to hand off to Rodney Denard, who runs to the right-hand side. He's got a crease. He's got the first down and more inside of Gators territory as he just crosses the 50-yard line.
Denard has run hard and run pretty well when he's had the opportunity. And another situation, this time Tommy Woodson is down, cramping up for the Gateway Gators in the backfield.
And one of his fellow defenders was urging him to get up and get back to the line as the time is winding down here in the second quarter with just over 30 seconds to play. But he could not get to his feet. And a sub will come in number 66, Connor Beatty.
You know, Amir Waheed, who is a junior, wearing number 54 for the Gators. He's not in the lineup due to injury, but he's working hard. He has taken care of his other linemen, his fellow linemen, Adam. He's been the man running the water out there in these cramped situations for the Gateway Gators. So he's working hard, even though he's not involved with the pads tonight for the Gators.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the 50-yard line. As slow to the near sideline comes Tommy Woodson.
Trips to the near boundary as well. Let's see if Jones maybe rolls to the near side and tries to get it downfield to one of those three receivers.
Jones, straight drop back, has some time as he rolls to his right. Throws that football down that far boundary. The nearest player to it was Rodney Denard, but that pass well off the mark.
And no chance for Denard to come across and get that. I thought initially when Jones ruled to the right that he had some room over there. Plus he had the sideline, so he could have maybe turned it upfield 3, 4, 5 yards and stopped the clock by getting out of bounds. But he tried to flip it to Denard, who couldn't catch up to it. 2nd and 10, right at midfield for Woodland Hills.
Just over 20 seconds to play here in the second frame. Woodland Hills trailing Gateway 21-0 here at the Wolverena. The new turf christened in the name of George Novak, the 30-year head coach of the Wolverines. Pass to that far sideline is caught. What a nice ranging, diving reception over on that far boundary, making the catch, Jaden Lucas for the Wolverines, and he will fall out of bounds after a 14-yard gain.
That, for Jaden Lucas, incorporates 3 great pieces that a receiver has to have. Number 1, footwork, because he had to tiptoe the sideline. Concentration, and then hands to make that catch for the pickup of 14. And puts Woodland Hills near the 35.
Jones in the shotgun, has some time, throws to his left, and the pass intended for Nazir Taylor batted around, and it'll hit the turf, incomplete. As the Gator had a hand on it before it hit the turf, that was Jeremiah Josephs, who comes up with a little bit of a calf cramp, but he's going to try to muscle it out here, stretch it out through the final 8 seconds.
Or he's going to perform in the marching band at halftime with that move. Little traffic throw there. Double coverage by Daniel Jones. And the inside coverage and the pass defense credited to Josephs. Still stretching out that left calf. Gateway sees that. They take a timeout.
We'll use this opportunity to step away as well. Again, it is 21-0 Gateway leading the Woodland Hills Wolverines. You're tuned in to Gateway and Woodland Hills right here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Second down and 10 for Woodland Hills. The football at the Gateway 36. Time winding down here in the second quarter as Jones throws the pass to the near hash. Devion Rochelle, the intended receiver, incomplete. And that'll bring up third down and 10 with 3.5 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. And you've got to assume that Coach Tim Bostard is going to dial up a pass to the end zone.
I think that's a case where Rochelle had the inside step. That's a good pass, maybe the best pass of the game by Jones, on the money. Maybe just a little out of the reach of Rochelle, but had a tough catch as I think Thompson, who was in on the coverage, is maybe cramping up for the Gators. Yeah, he's stretching out the right leg.
And Gateway is going to use another timeout, so we'll take a break as well. Again, 21-0 Gateway leading Woodland Hills. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on MSA Sports in the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Daniel Jones back to pass, rolling to his right, sidesteps a Gateway Gator, now can't elude the next one as he is wrapped around the shoulders and brought down after a gain of just 1 for the final play of quarter number 2. The two teams will go into the locker room with very different emotions as the Gateway Gators lead the Woodland Hills Wolverines by a score of 21-0. And Bob, if you're wearing black and turquoise today, you can't be thrilled with the first 24 minutes of football.
Absolutely not. And you can't be thrilled with the start. You gave up a touchdown on the special teams on the opening kickoff to Cordy Jackson, and then on the ensuing drive, Jackson takes a little shovel pass on the near sideline and goes 11 for a touchdown from Brady Walker. And then you give up a touchdown late. But some mistakes, I think those early mistakes especially, they got behind the 8 ball early and couldn't quite recover and give up a late touchdown, which shouldn't have counted. Should have been a fumble and a touchback, but nonetheless, 21-0 Gateway as we head into the intermission after the first 24 minutes.
We're going to take a 2-minute break, and when we return, it will be the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities. Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for nearly 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, alignment, state inspection, emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342. There are few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn in Swissvale. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn. Today's broadcast of Woodland Hills football is brought to you by the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club. Since 1905, Rotary clubs across the globe have brought business and professional leaders together to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. The Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club meets every Friday at noon at Shelley Pie. Rotary, service above self.
A-Boss Opticians on Braddock Avenue in Braddock is your one-stop optical shop. With hundreds of the latest frame styles and lenses, the skilled opticians at A-Boss will help select and fit the best eyewear option for you. Plus, A-Boss Opticians is the best eyewear repair facility in the area. No matter what your eyewear needs are, make A-Boss Opticians your opticians. Call A-Boss Opticians at 412-271-4424 or visit abossopticians.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back here at the Wolverena, where Gateway leads Woodland Hills by a score of 21-0. Adam Gusky and Bob Orquist up here in the booth. Rick McIntyre down on the field for today's coverage of the Wolverines. And it's our maiden voyage with a lot of new wrinkles here on the Woodland Hills Football Network and a lot of new wrinkles out there on the field as well, Bob. And some of them certainly have to be ironed out there on that field.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You get some momentum. You had a great ceremony, a great speech honoring an emotional George Novak, and you name the field in his honor. Then you come out, you're fired up. You want to protect the home turf, as you always do, but even specifically, more especially, Adam, on opening night and when you have that ceremony. And then 14 seconds in, Courtney Jackson gives Gateway the lead, and it was 14-0 really before you could blink. So any momentum that Woodland Hills had coming into tonight with the new turf and the field ceremony went by the wayside. And then a late touchdown, which maybe should not have been, gives Gateway 21-0 lead at halftime. And it's a case where Woodland Hills has done some good things, but not enough to get the ball even close to scoring on offensively and defensively. They did a good job of shutting Gateway down until the very end of the second quarter.
Again, your halftime score is 21-0. Gateway leading Woodland Hills. Folks watching live on Facebook or on our television affiliates, or if you're listening live on msasports.net, you can watch the Gateway and Woodland Hills bands. If not, we'll be back in just a little bit with more of the halftime coverage. Again, it's the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Music Department is proud to present.
You're listening to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine Football is also brought to you by the Triangle Barn Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, The Barber's Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, Fox's Pizza Den in Turtle Creek, Web Landings, and LG3 Entertainment. Now it's time for the Woodland Hills Football Network Halftime Show.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back here at the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills trails Gateway 21-0 at halftime. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist up here in the booth. Down on the field, it's Rick McIntyre. And Bob, as we wrapped up the first half, we talked about how Gateway really came out, punched Woodland Hills in the mouth. They got their feet underneath them. However, looking towards the second half, what do you think Woodland Hills needs to do to get their momentum going?
They get the football first. They need a sustained drive. You'd like to get some points, obviously, trailing 21-0, but they haven't really had a great drive where you could get it down the field and get it into scoring position, except for maybe trying late in the half. So I think that would be the first key right there. Defensively, I thought they did a lot of good things after giving up the first touchdown. The late touchdown obviously took care of some more of that momentum. But I think offensively, Woodland Hills just needs to find maybe a rhythm. I think that's the best way to put it.
We're going to step away for a minute and a half, and when we return, Rick McIntyre is going to join us from the field with some analysis. And as the halftime show rolls on, we'll also hear from Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back here at the Wolverena, it's the halftime show right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. We're going to send it down to Rick McIntyre. And Rick, we talked with Bobby about what we think the Wolverines need to do coming out of the locker room. What's your opinion from field level?
Well, I'll tell you, as you guys were talking about that, I'm peeking in from the end zone vantage point I have here at the Wolverines lined up, getting ready to come out of back onto the field for the second half. And I'll tell you, if they're half as fired up as their coaching staff is right now, this is going to be quite an exciting second half.
Now, I know you're going to grab Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard momentarily, but we'll give you an opportunity to talk with him for a second off the air as we get set for the second half. Bob Orquist, one person that the Wolverines need to focus on is Courtney Jackson. He has been dynamite for the Gateway Gators.
He has 11-yard touchdown. He's been good defensively, and he's set the tone for this game, taking the opening kickoff back 95 yards for the touchdown, getting some interest at the upper levels. Just a junior at 6 foot 165, started for Gateway so far in this contest on all aspects of this game.
Again, Woodland Hills taking on the Gateway Gators here in week number 0. And Rick McIntyre now joined by Woodland Hills head coach Tim Bostard. Let's send it down to the sideline where Rick is with Coach Tim.
Thanks, Adam. I'm here with brand new head coach Tim Bostard. Tell me what you saw in the first half you liked, maybe some things you didn't like, and what'd you say to the boys at halftime?
First half I think we came out, we played hard. Kids never gave up. We need to pick up some of our blocking schemes on the blitzes and that with the pass protection. We picked that up in the second half and give Jones some time to throw. We should be all right.
All right. Thanks, Coach. No, congratulations on the position, by the way. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Rick, and thanks, Tim Bostard. We're going to step away one more time here in the halftime show, and when we return, it'll be the second half between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities. Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for nearly 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, alignment, state inspection, emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342. There are few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn in Swissvale. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn. Today's broadcast of Woodland Hills football is brought to you by the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club. Since 1905, Rotary clubs across the globe have brought business and professional leaders together to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. The Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club meets every Friday at noon at Shelley Pie. Rotary, service above self.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Trails the Gateway Gators by a score of 21-0 as we are set to begin the second half right here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Adam Gusky, Bob Orquist on the call for you up in the booth. Down on the field, Rick McIntyre with his analysis from the turf.
One player we didn't get a chance to talk about, and he's not in the lineup, maybe could even things in the interior line for Woodland Hills, is DeVega Bird, the senior, 6'1", 322. Little meniscus issue, missing this game. Should be back later on this season, but he's a first-team all-conference lineman that the Wolverines don't have in the lineup this evening.
Woodland Hills with the ball to begin the second half is Jaquan Smith, the return man for the Wolverines, to the far boundary, spinning his way across the 30, out across the 35, and it'll be brought down near the 40-yard line where Woodland Hills will start this drive. First down and 10 right near the 41-yard line.
Well, the field position has been really good for Woodland Hills. They just haven't been not been able to get anything going. No sustained drives, no big plays outside of the Denard 30-yard run, which was called back. Maybe kind of changed the complexion of the first half. But again, you're starting at the 41-yard line here to start the second half. Fresh 24 minutes. Good talking to at halftime in the locker room. Let's see if the Wolverines can pick up a spark here on the offensive side of the football.
Daniel Jones back to pass, crossing route, looking for Nazir Taylor. The passing complete, and it's second down and 10.
A single coverage on this near sideline. Josephs was on one of the receivers. Whitehurst. And then Thompson was also out there. They just kind of crossed, and he went for the underneath route, did Daniel Jones, but misfired on the pass. 25 yards passing in the first half for Jones, 3 of 9. Ran the ball for 20 yards. That's kind of an impressive number considering the fact that he was sacked twice for negative 15 yards. Actually, in the first two series on offense for the Wolverines.
Handoff. The ball carrier for the Wolverines is Anthony Bullock, and he will pick up 4 yards, and it is third down and 6.
One of these times, Woodland Hills is going to go with a jet sweep and hand it off to Roddy Denard. He's been a decoy, running the football when he goes in motion from the slot, either slot left to right or opposite. And again, it was the situation. He's run the ball pretty well out of the backfield, but one of these times they're going to actually give it to Denard and see what we can do, try to turn the corner either side.
2 receivers to either side. Jones with a sidecar to his left. Late pressure as he throws the football, looking to the far boundary, and diving for the interception is a Gateway Gator around the 41-yard line. Rodney Denard, the intended receiver, and Isaiah Cameron with the INT.
Talked about Cameron doing the job offensively, running the football, catching the football. Just an underthrown pass and a good read by Cameron, the senior defensive back, as he kind of jumped the route. The receiver kept going downfield, tried to turn it in too late. Cameron made the read, picks up the interception, first turnover of the game, gives Gateway the football at their own 41-yard line.
So Gateway with the football at their own 41 as Woodland Hills not able to get anything with their first offensive drive. A stoppage asked for by the officials. And a Wolverine steps off of the field. And it's an illegal substitution penalty against
5-yard
Woodland
penalty.
Hills.
First down.
Pump. And now the ball thrown by Brady Walker to a wide open Courtney Jackson, who cuts once, then cuts twice, gets past Rodney Denard, dives for the pylon into the end zone for a Gateway touchdown. A flag on the field.
And I think they might be, I didn't see a touchdown signal.
Oh, they're going to say he's down at the half-yard line, but again, a flag is down right around the 13-yard line.
Courtney Jackson telling the Gators to feed him more. Great job. He picked up a nice block on the play. You mentioned it, pump fake, well executed, and Jackson just wide open. Several times in this game we've seen Walker just float it out there. That one, Jackson was so wide open, he floated it out. Great move down the near sideline to get to the one.
There is no foul for participating with a lost helmet.
The helmet was knocked off on the block. There you see the pump coming to the near side, and one receiver was open to the post route. He goes to the flag route. Jackson was wide open, big block right there. That's where the helmet came off, so that's not a participation foul. And then it's one-on-one with Denard and Courtney Jackson. Jackson kind of win that. Good job to come late by Sidney Summers to drop Courtney Jackson. They spot him down actually at the 3. Well, they put it inside the 1.
Yeah. So it'll be first down and goal for Gateway. The ball inside of the 1-yard line.
That's 58 yards on that catch and run for Jackson. He's made big plays early in each half, has he not?
That he has. So Gateway wants a timeout. And that'll give us an opportunity to take a breather early here in quarter number 3. It's 21-0. Gateway leading the Woodland Hills Wolverines, with the Gators threatening ball at the 1-yard line.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
Apparently Gateway was not charged a timeout. There was an issue with the scoreboard, and that caused that stoppage. Gators were not charged with a timeout. They came from the sideline to the line of scrimmage, and Isaiah Cameron took the ball a half-yard into the end zone for a Gateway touchdown, and now it's 27-0. Gateway leading Woodland Hills.
Courtney Jackson with a pair of scores, a kick return and a catch. And now Isaiah Cameron, a touchdown reception, and he adds a 1-yard touchdown run. Jenkins trying to go 4 for 4 on the extra points here for the Gators.
And this PAT is up, and it is good. Jason Jenkins, fourth PAT of the game, puts Gateway on top of Woodland Hills 28-0. So an inauspicious start for both halves for the Wolverines. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Tim Bostard with some words of encouragement on that far sideline to Tyrell Barlow, the senior two-way lineman for the Wolverines, as the Woodland Hills Wolverines trail the Gateway Gators 28-0. As we have played a minute and 13 seconds here in the second half, and Gateway has already scored a touchdown. Kickoff to Nazir Taylor. He runs from left to right, has a crease, met by a Gator, now driving his way forward with a bunch of white jerseys all over his back, and he will be brought down finally up near the 40-yard line. They'll say he's down at the 39.
Talked about maybe trying to get some momentum and getting a drive. Taylor maybe cramping up near the 39-yard line. That was the formula for success, but the recipe for Gateway was the opposite, an interception and then a 2-play touchdown drive. And they turned a 3-touchdown lead into a 4-touchdown lead here early in the second quarter, and Taylor's going to get looked at by the Woodland Hills training staff.
So Nazir Taylor being tended to by head athletic trainer Denny D'Amico, who's been with the program for 31 years now. The lone member of the staff that has been here every year of Woodland Hills football. And we talked about it at halftime, Bob, what tremendous turnover there was in the coaching staff. And when you look over there on that sideline, virtually every single person on that sideline played for George Novak.
That's a great thing. Actually, I was looking at both of these staffs, too. And if you're going to ask me, I'd put these staffs out there to play. There's some pretty good players on both sides of the field. You're looking at Melvin Carbs and Chris Edmonds and Melvin Cobbs, Maurice Walker, Vaughn Nanji. The other side, Morty Ivy, Donnie Hall, Jeff Parrish, Shane Hill. Good players on both sides. But that's why I think it's good to get those type of players on the sideline, those type of coaches, former players, Adam, on the sideline for Woodland Hills, because they're well aware of the tradition and what it has taken over the years for George Novak. And so you get Tim Bostard in there, but they all know what the tradition is, and they can pick it up rather easily. You've got to get that to translate onto the field, though, and sometimes that takes a little long.
And, there obviously was some offseason turmoil with the program. You add to that the fact that Tim Bostard was not named the head coach until about 3 or 4 days before, football camp started. So certainly that made things a little bit more tougher for everybody. And, add that all up, and the fact that it's 28-0 isn't that big of a surprise, number one. And number two, you have to take a lot of positives out of the fact that the defense has had an opportunity to get their legs under them, and we've seen some decent plays from the offense as well.
I agree. And the other thing you factor in there, only one scrimmage. You get week 0, so it's a non-conference game. But normally in past seasons you had 2 scrimmages. Woodland Hills has Butler, and then they had to jump right into it against a good Gateway squad here tonight. So taking a little bit of lumps so far in this contest.
Hand off to Rodney Denard, and Denard is brought down to the backfield by Matt Alfaro. A loss of about 2 on the play brings up second down and a dozen.
Alfaro's been pretty impressive too, the senior. Not tallest at 5'9", but 227. He had some cramp issues earlier, and he made a nice tackle right there, getting Denard from behind.
So second and a dozen for the Wolverines. The football at their own 37-yard line. The line to gain is the 49. Counter coming to the near side. Rodney Denard bouncing it to the near side. Crosses the 40, the 45. Close to the first down marker. He had a player around his waist, and then he gets his shoulder up high from Derek Davis. Travis Thompson the second on the bottom of the tackle.
Denard, when he's had opportunities to break it off, he's run the ball pretty well. That time it's just a simple counter coming to the near sideline. It's all individual effort. Good job to come across, and instead of coming all the way across, it is Oliver who picks off a player, and that gives Denard a chance to get to the outside. It turns a 2nd and long into a 3rd and manageable 3rd and 3.
Gain of 8 on the play.
3rd down and 3 for the Wolverines as the handoff goes to Jaquan Smith, who drives his way forward for a Woodland Hills first down into Gators territory to the 45-yard line.
It's a good job to get the head of steam going for Smith. Senior, 6 foot, 177. Just took the handoff and had head of steam, and there's another cramp situation for Woodson. But Jaquan Smith and Denard, 2 of the returning leading rushers for Woodland Hills, counted on to get the job done out of the backfield this year for Woodland Hills and Woody High. And Smith, just limited carries, just his 4th tote of the game.
Let's send it down to the field. Rick McIntyre has transitioned from the near sideline over to the Woodland Hills sideline. And Rick, what's the vantage point like over there?
Not a whole lot different from this side of the ball, this side of the field right now, Adam. Coming out of the box, the team come out real fired up. Everybody looked excited, looked like they were ready to play. That interception really just seemed to suck the air out of this sideline. There's a lot of concerned looks on the coaches' faces.
And Rick, when you were on the near sideline, you saw the Gateway sideline, and we've seen a lot of their big guys go down with cramps. Do you see them hydrating? Do you see Woodland Hills doing more of that? Why do you think Gateway has been shaken up so often?
Well, as far as I can tell, it looks like the Gateway big guys are the ones really doing all the damage, and they're the guys that are going 2 ways all day. And I think it's a testament to, as you said, Coach Danny D'Amico and the athletic training here, that the conditioning maybe on this side is just a little bit better.
Again, 9:46 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Woodland Hills trailing the Gateway Gators 28-0. Next week, Woodland Hills hits the road for their first road game and their first conference game of the season, as they will take on the Baldwin Highlanders and the stadium in Whitehall, PA, even though they are the Baldwin Highlanders, part of the Baldwin-Whitehall School District, as Tommy Woodson is up. And Bob, you're going to be moving a seat to the left, and Rick McIntyre, he's going to be able to take a seat for game number 2, as I will be performing some of my duties at the University of Pittsburgh Athletic Department. You'll be doing play-by-play. Rick in the booth to do color.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Kind of a fresh start. You jump right in. You get your opening start, and then your conference start. So you get a fresh start. And you know, if you're looking long term, and I'm sure Tim Bostard and the staff is, Adam, you want to focus on the conference play.
Jaquan Smith, the ball carrier, running to the far side right. He is spun down. He looked like he was going to be met in the backfield, but somehow was able to get a yard out of absolutely nothing. And that was a testament to his speed as he was able to turn the corner and drag a white jersey with him for a 1 yard, maybe a 2 yard gain.
Indeed, it was the speed of Smith. Talked about Smith and Denard being returning leading rushers for the Wolverines last year. Jaquan Smith and Denard both had good averages, 6.6 on 25 carries for Jaquan Smith. Denard had a 6.9 average, so those two are going to be counted on to carry the running game, and we get a pre-snap flag. Looks like this one might go against the Gators.
Prior to the snap, encroachment by the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So instead of 2nd down and 8, it's going to be 2nd down and 3 for Woodland Hills, with the ball deeper into Gateway territory at the 38-yard line. The farthest Woodland Hills took the ball into Gators territory was late in the 2nd quarter before the quarter expired. So 2nd and 3 is Jones under center. He's going to hand off, and powering his way forward for Woodland Hills first down is Elijah Rash, 5'9", 202-pound senior running back. So Rash was set as the lone setback and somehow was able to drag a white jersey with him to pick up an extra yard or 2 after picking up the first down. Power I. Hand off this time to Christopher Jones, who lowers the shoulder and drives his way towards the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 3.
This is the rhythm I talked about. First time we've really seen this for Woodland Hills. Just straight running the football. That time Christopher Jones, 5'10", 202. Well, this Jones is 202. Rash just ran the ball, is plus 200 pounds. Denard is 182. It's a pretty good size in the backfield for the Wolverines.
8:20 and rolling here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills down 28-0. Handoff this time. Anthony Bullock running to the right-hand side as the Wolverines are going tailback by committee right now. Gain of about 5 on that play as Bullock is brought down on that far boundary by a host of white jerseys right around the 26.
Got it simple. Micah Lucas, the left guard, pulls, gets out in front. Also a good lead block by Christopher Jones for Bullock to pick up 5 yards. Trying to smell those sticks out over there. They're down at 3 for Woodland Hills, maybe inside of 3.
Line to gain right around the 23-yard line. The ball just set at the 26. Line backfield behind Jones. Gateway shows blitz. Denard able to squeak past a couple of white jerseys. Rodney Denard into open field. 5, end zone, touchdown Woodland Hills. And the first TD of the Timothy Bostard era is a run right up the gut, something he'd love when he was on the field.
Absolutely, the big offensive lineman like that, and that's a good job and a good reset by Denard. He was dotting the I, about 7 yards back, knew he had the first down, but a big hole up the middle. And again, Christopher Jones with the lead block, and then Denard cut it to the outside. One thing I like, switches the football to the outside arm and then just goes untouched into the end zone from 26 for score of the season for the Wolverines, courtesy of Rodney Denard, who scored just 3 times in 2016.
He had a big pick 6 in the playoff game against Franklin Regional to help seal that game and help the Wolverines advance to the Whitfield semifinals. Chucky Hanchett on, and the PAT is up and good. And with 7:24 to play in the third quarter, it's a 21-point lead for Gateway, but Woodland Hills is now on the board. It's Gateway 28 and Woodland Hills 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gators right here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
The scoreboard on a 26-yard touchdown run by Rodney Denard, straight up the middle, had the fullback leading the way, and the rest was done by the speed of Rodney Denard as he split some D-backs and raced across the goal line for that 26-yard TD.
You mentioned it, maybe the key, tailback by committee. Rash carried the football on the drive. Bullock carried the football on the drive. Jaquan Smith carried the football a couple times on the drive, and of course Rodney Denard with a touchdown run. So that's the rhythm that Woodland Hills had been lacking up until that drive. Let's see if they can capitalize on that, get some momentum back, and get a good defensive stand and get the ball back on offense.
Chucky Hanchett to kick it off. And a bouncing kick to the near boundary. Bobbled initially by Jeremiah Josephs. He'll then scoop it up. Slides out of the arm tackle from one Wolverine and then is brought down by a second wave of black jerseys. Leading the way is Caleb Brevard for the Wolverines.
You know, I was thinking as soon as Hanchett went up to kick that is maybe I wouldn't kick it to Courtney Jackson. We've seen him make a couple of big plays, including the biggest play of the game, the 95-yard touchdown on the opening kickoff, and they did just that. Short kick to Joseph, and you'll trade a little bit of field position, keep him out of the end zone. Now the defense has to come up and be up to the task here for Woodland Hills.
So the Wolverines able to use over 3 minutes of clock and get their first touchdown on that 26-yard run by Rodney Denard. Now the defense needs to lock down on the Gateway Gators. Brady Walker rolling to his left, dumping it off. The pass complete to Courtney Jackson. He's forced out of bounds on that far sideline after a pickup of about 8 yards, maybe 9, out towards the midfield stripe. They'll say 8 to the 49-yard line. And Bob, boy, I'll tell you what, Walker has great field knowledge to know to dump that ball off just before crossing the line of scrimmage.
Just thinking about that, you got knowledge, and also the fact that he's confident to do that. I guess all his receivers and his running backs know to be alert at him, because it's almost like your schoolyard. You draw the play up in the dirt, you just improvise. He's done that several times effectively tonight for Gateway.
Officials talking things over right now, and I think they wanted to determine, was that pass thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, or did something happen on that far sideline? Either way, we're going to check in with Bill Heidkamp to see what he has to say. Now, from our vantage point on our replay, it looked like Walker got rid of the football shy of the 40-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 41.
I thought he did too, but it looks like Bill Heidkamp's moved him back. So,
Forward pass by the offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Second down.
Well, the Gateway fans on the near sideline are not happy, Bob, but if they had the knowledge that we had, that a touchdown in the first half shouldn't have been, and it should have turned into a touchback for the Wolverines, I truly feel that, they would feel all things are even.
All things being equal, you'd rather have this call stand and the touchdown taken back. I made it 14-0, but I like when the referees confer. Bill Heidkamp did a good job with his crew to get up there. Jim Connolly, the umpire, Dave Paparillo, the linesman, Brian Long, the line judge, Dan Carr, the field judge, and Jerry Lavelle, the side judge.
Walker with the hitch and go, and he looks across the middle, and the pass intended for a Gateway receiver, and he got blasted right around the 35-yard line. A great hit by Rodney Denard, and Brandon Kane is still slow to get up.
Well, that's what you call separating the receiver from the football. Good job by Walker to step up with the pressure. Threw off the wrong foot, but got plenty on it, and Denard just put his shoulder right between the 2 and the 3 in the chest of Brandon Kane. Big hit by Denard after scoring the touchdown on the offensive series for Woodland Hills.
Now, our viewers and listeners know that I have lauded the abilities of this officiating crew over the years. Bill Heidkamp and his crew are some of the best around. And when you look at that play, and you saw the hit by Rodney Denard, clearly clean. You saw Kane not get up too quickly, and then you saw Nazir Taylor from Woodland Hills come over and have something to say after the play. Now, the official came over and he separated Nazir Taylor from the situation. He had a conversation with him, kind of giving him that warning, and that's something you don't see with a lot of the crews. They don't give the guys an opportunity to be kids like they did here, and I think that was a great opportunity for a learning moment for Nazir Taylor.
I hope that he does learn from, because that, I thought we're going to see a flag, and that was a 15 yards. Not on the hit, because the hit was perfect. Denard did not leave his feet, did not lead with his head, he led with his shoulder, did not hit to the head. That was perfect. But Taylor with the trash chalk, that's where you got to give it to the officials, and that's a great point you made, Adam, because now Nazir knows that next time he's not going to get away with that.
Gateway faking the reverse. Instead, they're going to stick with the end around. Coming from left to right is Derek Davis for the Gateway Gators. He's going to cross the 45 to the 46-yard line. Christopher Jones, amongst others, in on the tackle for Woodland Hills.
This is the play I was thinking that Woodland Hills would eventually do with Denard. They did it well. They faked the reverse and had a lead blocker in Austin Williams coming out on the near side with Derek Davis. That's a good pickup of 5. Also on the tackle, Sidney Summers, who's been very active defensively for the Wolverines.
JT Thomas on to punt it away for the Gateway Gators. Rodney Denard is going to step back deep to return it for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
First punt for Gateway. They're looking to maybe call timeout. They're confused.
Yeah, they haven't punted since
they got 11 players out there.
Quarter number 2. And a timeout is called by Coach Hall, and that'll give us an opportunity to take a breather as well. Again, 6:13 to play here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills trailing the Gateway Gators by a score of 28-7. You're tuned into the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun entertainment.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Gateway brings their offense out onto the field on 4th down and 5, hard count. The Wolverines encroach the neutral zone, and instead of 4th and 5, it is going to be 1st and 10 for Gateway.
Can't have that happen. Gateway takes the time out. I don't know if they were intent on actually running an offensive play. I was thinking maybe Brady Walker quick kicks in that situation, but the hard count is not what you need Woodland Hills to do, jump offside, and that gives a fresh set of downs to the Gators.
Yard penalty leaves the distance to the gain, line to gain, about 1 inch short.
So for the second time today, we see a 4th and very short after an encroachment penalty against the Woodland Hills defense.
What was it earlier, Bill Heidkamp? 4th and just about this much or something?
Just about that much.
And now just inches. So it's another big play. Woodland Hills had a big stop in the first half, which kind of got them some momentum. Let's see if they can do it here again.
6:13.
And the official asked for the clock to be reset to 6 minutes and 13 seconds. So the official has asked for 5 seconds to be added to the game clock, and they are resetting it to 6 minutes and 13 seconds. So 4th and very short for Gateway. Walker, he's going to hand off. Gateway has the first down and much, much more as the ball carrier, Isaiah Cameron, is finally dragged down inside of Wolverines territory at the 34-yard line. Nazir Taylor went for the ride. Also in on the stop, Christopher Jones for the Wolverines.
Remember in the first half, Gateway maybe got a little too fancy and went for it on 4th and short. Tried to throw the football this time, just a straight power run up the gut with Cameron, the senior. Picks up 15. You needed inches. He picked up way more than that.
.5:55 on a rolling clock here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills down 21. Brady Walker pressured, steps up into the pocket. Now he's going to be wrapped and brought down. The first man to him was defensive lineman Michael Lucas, and then cleaning up the play for the Wolverines was Michael Roman.
Good job first time that they were able to get Walker behind the line of scrimmage. He's used his escapability in this game, improvisational skills as well, but good job to come in to get a hand in there. Roman finishing up, also on the tackle. Turn best, it's Michael Lucas, who you mentioned. He got the initial shot, and they're stretching out his left leg. Looks to be another cramped situation for the 6 foot, 283-pound senior Lucas.
So athletic trainer Denny D'Amico out there taking a look at Michael Lucas. And let's again send it over to Rick McIntyre along the far sideline, who has been able to take a listen into what's going on that Woodland Hills sideline. And Rick, how's the morale over there?
We're getting morale every time it starts to look up. Something negative just seems to happen and just seems to just suck the air right out of the sidelines. They made a good stop there on third down, and then jump offside on the hard count. And I'll tell you, the coaching staff was not too pleased with it.
And Rick, let's take a look back to that touchdown straight up the gut. In our day, we probably would have called it a 21 spin, but it was just wide open for Rodney Denard.
That's exactly what it was. I forget what they call it now, but it was either the 21 or 22 wham. Lead up the middle, and then you're looking for the cutback. And they had some, from my vantage point, it looked like we had some pretty good downfield blocking. And I had a nice shot at the hole, and it was another one of those U-Haul truck type holes. He could have ran all day.
Could you have run through that hole?
That's pushing it.
Okay. Again, Woodland Hills trailing the Gateway Gators 28-7 with 5:35 to play here in the third quarter. Michael Lucas being tended to by Denny D'Amico. Also out there, Wayne Anderson.
Whatever the era, it was perfectly executed.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what you call it. You know what? This is almost unheard of. You talked about Denny D'Amico being here 33 years. George Novak was the only head coach at Woodland Hills new to this year. And nowadays, with this win at all costs or you don't have time to build a program, that's kind of unheard of stability. to have player or coaches and staff around the program for that long.
And you know, I said Denny D'Amico's been out on this field for 31 years. That's with Woodland Hills. He was with Turtle Creek before that, so he's been out there a long, long time as an athletic trainer for Turtle Creek and now Woodland Hills.
Great stuff for Denny D'Amico, though he wishes he was kind of less busy tonight with the cramps.
2nd and 11 as the pass to the far side is complete to Jay Johnson, and Jay Johnson is going to take the ball down towards the 30-yard line where the tackle was made by Michael Roman, the junior linebacker.
It's the quick screen this time. Really, I thought it was going to be like a naked screen, but then you look at it, you see Zach Storch get out there leading the way along with Cleveland, so maybe just a little delayed basic type screen to Johnston. Works for 3, actually, we'll give him.
3rd down and about 8. Walker off of play action, looks left, throws left, and the pass is incomplete. Over on that far sideline on the coverage for Woodland Hills, Michael Coleman, as the pass intended for Brandon Kane is incomplete. And it's good to see Kane back out there and participating in the play after absolutely getting tattooed not that long ago by Rodney Denard.
What you have to wonder is that hitting his head, because this is a pass he really should have caught, had the first down, but didn't get it, and he had pressure from the defensive back right on his back and Michael Coleman, and just couldn't come down with a catch. It would have been a first down for the Gators.
So 4th and 8 here for the Gators with the football at the 31. Walker running to the right, steps forward, he throws the pass, he's past the line of scrimmage. Rodney Denard with the INT. They're going to say it's an incomplete pass, and the flag is against Gateway for an illegal forward pass against Walker. We'll check in to confirm with Bill Heidkamp.
Illegal forward pass by the offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. First down.
So when you add the fact that there's the 5-yard penalty, loss of down, now it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. And for the second time today, Woodland Hills forces the Gateway Gators into a turnover on downs, reasonably deep into Woodland Hills territory.
So you've done that. The key is you need to capitalize on that, take advantage of the fact that your defense did the job. And you get the ball at your own 35-yard line, and piggybacking the fact that on your last offensive series, you scored your first touchdown in 2017 on the Denard 26-yard jaunt.
Rodney Denard taking the pitch, running right, stepping forward, and he'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Snooks for Gateway.
That's a good read by Zephaniah Snooks, because I thought Denard took that pitch and was almost wanted to cut it back towards the near sideline. If he did, there was room, but Snooks, the senior, came up and did a good job. It was almost a one-on-one situation in the middle of the field. If he doesn't get that tackle, Denard has a lot of room to the near sideline.
High backfield behind Jones. Straight drop back for Daniel Jones, setting up the screen, completing the pass to Rodney Denard. Sidestep 2 Gators, now dances past another few. Over to the far sideline goes Rodney Denard. He'll spring forward. He's got the first down for Woodland Hills.
That's all individual effort by number 9. The dance moves were on full display. The lineman release on the screen pass, so that's why Daniel Jones has pressure, but Alfaro couldn't get a clean shot at him. Diving for his ankles was number 33, Michael Oliver. He gets past that, breaks another tackle, and then cuts inside one more time. Actually, it wasn't Oliver, it was Jay Johnson who came back and made the tackle 5 yards further downfield. Great pickup of 11 for Denard.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, one back set behind Jones. Handoff will go to Jaquan Smith, and Jaquan Smith drives his way forward. Gain of about 9.5 on that one, and brings up 2nd down and a very manageable half yard.
I think these dance moves are infectious. First it's Denard, that time a tremendous spin move by Jaquan Smith going to the right side. He spun out of a tackle right near the line of scrimmage, cut it back, and then went forward and spun actually for an additional 3 yards after contact, making it 2nd and short.
3 minutes as the clock winds here in quarter number 3. 2nd and 1 is driving forward as a Woodland Hills tailback, but a flag comes in.
It's unfortunate that the Wolverines are going to be penalized, because I was just thinking on this drive, and with the last drive, they finally had some serious offensive rhythm going on.
Illegal motion by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So instead of second down and a very short one, now it's going to be second down and a very long 5. Line to gain is the 44-yard line. The ball rests at about the 49.5. One receiver to either side. Handoff going to Anthony Bullock. Nice spin move, but he only picks up about a yard on it as he's brought down right near the line of scrimmage.
Snooks once again. Cameron as well.
They're down in about 4 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the 30, or rather the 48-yard line. Line to gate is the 44. Straight drop back. Jones looking left the whole way for Nazir Taylor. Nazir Taylor rips it away from a D-back, and he'll dive to the pylon for a Woodland Hills touchdown, covering 49 yards.
What a catch. Jones putting it up there, and the defensive back had his back turned. And really, I think that Nazir Taylor almost took that right out of his hands or off the helmet of Travis Thompson II. And then the rest was going to get to the pylon, which he absolutely did. 2 scores in a row for Woodland Hills.
And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a football game. It seemed to be a runaway for the Gateway Gators when it was 28-0, but all of a sudden, it's 28-13, and Chucky Hanchett comes on to attempt a PAT, and it's going to be just a bit longer because I think Woodland Hills is guilty of an illegal substitution. Let's check in with Bill Heidkamp to confirm.
Prior to the snap, encroachment by the defense.
How about that?
Half the distance penalty remains a try.
So while Woodland Hills was running one guy off and one guy on, Gateway decided to encroach the neutral zone, and Woodland Hills PAT gets that much easier for Chucky Hanchett.
Key to the back-to-back touchdowns too, Adam. 1:58 still remains in the third quarter. So you've got a full quarter of football to play, and you've got momentum squarely favoring the black and turquoise. Oh, there's white in there as well, too, I should say. Now, you gave a yard and a half, you're going to get 5 back the other way.
By the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still a try.
Hanchett's thinking, I'll get it. I'll get the kick this one way or another.
Michael Whitehurst is the holder for the Wolverines. We talked about it already that Marcus Taylor is the long snapper. The 5'10" running back linebacker.
Yeah, doing that in the pregame warm-ups. Looking pretty good.
Good snap. Whitehurst gets it down, and Chucky Hanchett bangs it through, and 1:58 to play here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills has cut the deficit in half. It is now 28-14. Gateway leading Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Serving the Turtle Creek Valley and surrounding areas for over 111 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home is pleased to announce the opening of their new crematory at their Turtle Creek location. Families choosing cremation can have added peace of mind, knowing that their loved one never leaves the care of Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, and that our crematory is used exclusively for the families we serve.
$1:58 to play here in the third quarter. Adam Gusky and Bob Orquist high above George Novak Field at the Wolverena. McIntyre is down along the field as Woodland Hills has cut a 28-point deficit down to a 14-point deficit on back-to-back touchdowns. A 26-yard run by Rondy Denard. You follow that up by a 49-yard pass from Jeremiah Jones to Nazir Taylor. Chucky Hanchett with a pair of PATs, and then he'll bounce this one past the return man in Derek Davis, and Gateway is going to start from their own 20.
Woodland Hills is stacked, back-to-back scoring drives offensively. Now you need to stack some defensive stops here to keep the momentum. You cut it to 14. You want to try to stop Gateway, and Gateway faced with their worst field position, starting field position in this game, starting at their own 20-yard line.
So Gateway, the last time they had the ball in the second quarter, scored a 25-yard touchdown. The first time they touched the ball in the third quarter, it ended in a 1-yard touchdown run. But since then, Woodland Hills has scored 14 unanswered. Check out the Woodland Hills Football Network on YouTube, youtube.com/WH Football Network, for entire games plus highlight packages all season long. Brady Walker in the shotgun sidecar off of play action. Looks down the middle as he's pressured. He'll step out of the pocket. He'll be wrapped and he'll be brought down at the 24-yard line from behind. On the tackle for the Wolverines is Eric Oliver, but a flag came down, and when it comes from the umpire at the feet of an offensive lineman, chances are it's holding.
I believe it's Cannon Cleveland who got too much of Sidney Summers, which is going to cost Gateway 10 yards.
10-yard penalty, spot on the foul. Repeat, first down.
So it'll be second down, rather first down and 15 for Gateway with the football at the 12-yard line. Brady Walker in the shotgun. Snap over his right shoulder, and the pass over to that far sideline intended for Courtney Jackson is incomplete. He was met as soon as he grabbed the football by a Woodland Hills DB, separating him from the football, and the incomplete pass brings up second down and 15.
I think you might have heard footsteps, a little misdirection screen as they faked a pass to the right. Michael Roman was actually on the coverage right behind Courtney Jackson.
And forgive me, I mean second down and 18 with the ball back at the 12. As that penalty pushed Gateway back 10 yards from 2 yards past the line of scrimmage on the first play. Walker pitching it to the right-hand side. The ball carrier is Isaiah Cameron, who will be brought down. Tackle on the play by Nazir Taylor, who just made a huge play for the Woodland Hills offense not that long ago.
We got a third and long. Third and 11. Actually, third and 12. So this is a big stop for Woodland Hills. Late in the second quarter, clock stopped because the ball carrier Cameron went out of bounds, was knocked out of bounds by Taylor.
Walker in the shotgun, sidecar to his right. He'll motion that sidecar to his left now with twins to either side. Good snap. Walker feigns the pitch to the right, or the left rather, and throws it back to the near side, and the pass intended for Christopher Jones is incomplete. Jones dove, a little shove in his back from Nazir Taylor. As soon as the ball gets near him, the incomplete pass brings up fourth down and a dozen.
Good zip on that pass. Good coverage, though, by Taylor. To stay stride for stride, and that's what you want to see. Talked about stacking the two good offensive possessions back-to-back. Now you've stacked two good offensive possessions or two good defensive possessions for Woodland Hills back-to-back. You force Gateway to punt, and the Wolverines should come out of this with good field position.
JT Thomas will punt this away. As a flag comes in over on that far sideline.
Do we get a timeout or a substitution? I think Woodland Hills took the timeout before the substitution penalty.
Yeah, I think you are correct.
Foul for illegal substitution. The timeout was called before the penalty was thrown. Timeout, Woodland Hills.
So that'll give us an opportunity to step away as well as Woodland Hills calls a timeout. They trail the Gateway Gators by a score of 28-14. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Whether you need a new website or want to improve your existing site, Web Landings can serve your needs. Web Landings provides professional, easy-to-maintain websites for businesses, organizations, and individuals. Discover more at weblandings.com and find out how editing your site can be as easy as using a word processor. Plus, we offer 1 year of free hosting for any website developed. Visit weblandings.com today.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Unit is on, but the punt snap carries over the head of Jarrell Thomas out of the back of the end zone for a safety, and Woodland Hills has cut the deficit now to 12 points, and they're going to get the ball back. Boy, have the tides turned here in Turtle Creek.
Absolutely, and you know what to credit that to? The timeout for the coaching staff, which takes away the illegal substitution, and it goes over the head of Thomas. 16 unanswered points now for the Wolverines. And you mentioned it, they get the football back on the free kick, which you should be looking at good field position. So all the momentum favorably or strongly favoring Woodland Hills here late in quarter number 3.
So, like you said, Bobby, Woodland Hills has ripped off 16 unanswered points. A 26-yard touchdown for Rodney Denard, a 49-yard touchdown pass from Jeremiah Jones to Nazir Taylor, and then you add to that the errant punt snap that carries over the head of J.T. Thomas out of the back of the end zone. And Woodland Hills scores 16 unanswered and gets the football back, and boy, has the momentum shifted from the near boundary to the far.
Now you stack, they keep talking about stacking good defensive possessions, good offensive possessions. You stack 2 offensive possessions. You need to stack a third. If you're Woodland Hills, you've definitely turned the tide, turned the momentum. You've eliminated some of the mistakes. Now Gateway is the team making some of the mistakes, and hopefully you get a good return. You've got Denard back there. We've seen a couple times Jaquan Smith on some kickoffs have some good returns. Also back to on the far side of the field is Jeffrey Williams.
J.T. Thomas boots this one away. Rodney Denard will catch it at the 40. Dancing, hasn't gotten to midfield yet. Picks up a block to the 50. To the far sideline, inside of the 45 to the 43-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills inside of Gateway territory. And for the first time today, Woodland Hills starts a drive in Gators territory.
Torrin Best, the senior, he is the man who made that big block to give Denard some extra time as he was dancing around near the WH logo at midfield. You mentioned it, inside Gateway territory. Another big drive for the Wolverines, trying to come back from being down 28 points early in the third quarter.
Jones under center. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Slot Krabs from right to left. Hand off on the delay. Ball carrier coming to the near side left is Jaquan Smith. Jaquan Smith close to first down yardage as he crosses the 35 towards the 33-yard line before being spun out of bounds by a couple of Gateway Gators. It'll be a gain of 9 for Smith and 2nd down and 1.
Simple. Stretch play, left side, you grab the tight end. In this case, it was Keandre Tibbs who seals. Defender falls down, and all the rest was Jaquan Smith getting the edge.
Again, 2nd down and 1 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the Gateway 34-yard line. Just under a minute to play here in the third frame. Woodland Hills scoring 16 unanswered, looking to build on that. Jones, play action, rolls right, throws right, pass complete. It's a 1st down for the Wolverines. On the reception is the converted quarterback, Michael Whitehurst.
2 players, there was a receiver closer to the line of scrimmage. Whitehurst was about 5 or 6 yards further downfield as Jones took the play action and rolled right. It was the man off the block, Tibbs, who was closer to the line of scrimmage, but the man further down was Whitehurst, who made a nice catch at the 23-yard line.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 23. Rodney Denard taking the pitch to the left-hand side, cutting it back right, scooting back left, He's across the 20, down towards the 15. They'll say he's down at the 16-yard line for a decent gain of around 7 yards on first down.
He'll take it. I think this is much more what Tim Bostard and his coaching staff envisioned. You went behind early on the opening kickoff, and you made some mistakes and couldn't get any kind of momentum or rhythm going in the first half, but you got it going on now for Woodland Hills. 2nd and 3, just outside of the 15.
Jones under center, looking to the right the whole way. And the pass is batted away over on that far boundary by Courtney Jackson, the D-back for the Gateway Gators, and a flag flew in the backfield. And we'll have to check in with Bill Heidkamp to see what this infraction was.
I like the play call with time winding down in the third quarter. I like the defensive play by Courtney Jackson even better. He did a good job on the isolation against Nazir Taylor. I think he's picking the flag up, maybe. I'll have to get the word here from Bill Heidkamp.
Illegal shift by the offense. 5-yard penalty will be enforced. Since the penalty occurred with the time running out in the period, we will extend the period with an untimed down.
So it'll be an untimed down for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. The ball moved back to the 21-yard line. The line to gain is around the 13. Jones is under center. Play action to Rodney Denard. He'll roll right, he'll throw right. The pass complete again to Michael Whitehurst. He is down at the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Wolverines right at the 10-yard line. And that's the way to finish up the third quarter. We'll head to the fourth frame. Woodland Hills trailing Gateway 28-16, but the Wolverines knocking on the doorstep. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
LG3 Entertainment is a first-class disc jockey and karaoke entertainment company that serves the Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. They offer a wide range of music entertainment for weddings, anniversaries, school dances, corporate events, and more. They also offer beautiful chair cover linen rentals to give your event the elegance it deserves. They offer many more services, so go to their website today and see why so many choose LG3 Entertainment for the best in family fun.
He can throw up on you again.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Set to begin quarter number 4 here in Turtle Creek as the Woodland Hills Wolverines have cut a 28-point Gateway lead down to a 12-point Gators advantage, and the Wolverines have the ball 1st and goal at the 10-yard line as Daniel Jones found his former quarterback counterpart for the second time this drive in Michael Whitehurst. This time the diving catch gives the Wolverines the ball 1st and goal at the 10.
That's that same page mentality, quarterback mentality. Michael Whitehurst definitely knows the offense. 2 big catches on this drive after the safety, and the Wolverines get 1st and goal to start quarter number 4.
Whitehurst split left. Nazir Taylor to the near side right. The lone setback, Anthony Bullock. Anthony Bullock's going to take the carry. He's going to bounce it to the left. He's going to turn it inside, and he'll be pushing his way forward. No, they're going to say his knee went down at the 5-yard line, even though it looked like he had gathered himself and kept pushing. So it will be 2nd and goal inside of the 6.
So dive to the right, although carrying the ball in the wrong hand. Let's see if he did go down. And he did. That's a good call by the officials.
Tackle made by Jordan Stankovic for the Gateway Gators. .11:20 clock winding here in quarter number 4. High backfield. Handoff. Jaquan Smith goes left, cuts back right. He'll cross the goal line for a Woodland Hills touchdown. Left and right, zigging, zagging, and Jaquan Smith brings the Wolverines within 6 points.
Zigzag, left, right, shimmy, shake, doesn't matter. 6 is what counts right there. Beautiful individual effort by Jaquan Smith. Came right, cut left, and then cut it back against the seam and into the end zone. Woodland Hills strikes again. They have scored 22 unanswered points.
Chucky Hanchen on to attempt the PAT. It'll make it a 5-point game if he splits the uprights as a flag comes in from the far sideline prior to the snap.
It's got to be Gateway encroaching.
Encroachment by the defense. Half the distance penalty. Remains the try.
You know, hasn't really been one go-to guy. You mentioned it a little earlier in this contest, Adam. Running back by committee. It's been effective. Denard has a touchdown run. Smith has a touchdown run. Bullock has had a nice run. Christopher Jones as well. Throw in Daniel Jones in the first half, and they've all been effective. As Hanchett is effective once again, too, to make it a 5-point game.
28-23. Gateway leading Woodland Hills with 11:05 to play in the fourth quarter. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back at the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills has cut a 28-point deficit to a 5-point deficit, scoring 23 unanswered points here at the Wolverena. Chucky Hanchen set to kick it off.
Good blocking up front on that, but really just a great individual effort by Jaquan Smith. Juking and jiving his way into the end zone.
End-over-end kicks, going to bounce in between the 2 deep return men, and Derek Davis and Courtney Jackson into the end zone for a touchback, and Gateway again has to start 80 yards away from pay dirt. Let's send it down to the sideline where Rick McIntyre has observed some very winded Gateway defensive linemen.
Yeah, Adam, what I'm seeing is number 55. I apologize. I cannot read my phone to look at the roster right now. But he seemed to have a pretty good impact on the first half. He was dominating the offensive line or the defensive line. The second half, I haven't seen him on the field too much. They're kind of playing that right end position by committee. And it looks like Woodland Hills is starting to key on that, and they're beating him up on that left side.
Adam, maybe the key is Rick is on the right sideline in the second half.
I think we're going to do that from now on. He even gave me a little shrug as to say that's a spot-on assessment by Bobby O. And we see the right guard who set in his stance and then took a step to his right. Tommy Woodson is going to be the guilty party.
5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
On the false start, and that's going to cost the Gators 5 yards. And if you're a Woodland Hills fan and you were here and you left early because it was 28-0, shame on you.
Shame. Absolutely. Tim Bostard talked about it coming out at halftime when he had a chance to chat with Rick.
Handoff going to the ball carrier, Isaiah Cameron. Tackle on the play made by Eric Oliver. Gain of about 4 brings up second down and 11.
Coach Bostard said when we key on our blocks, we made a couple of adjustments. Just need to finish, and they did that. Now they've got scoring drives. They got special teams points. They've had several good defensive stands as well, and all the momentum favoring Woodland Hills. Second and long for the Gators.
Twins to either side as Brady Walker's in a shotgun. Looks down the middle. The pass is caught somehow in traffic. Courtney Jackson came down with that football, and he could have Gator-armed it very easily as that pass kind of hung him out to dry. And fortunately for Jackson, nobody was there to put the shoulder in like what could have happened.
Technically, didn't he Gator-arm it anyway?
I suppose so.
Pun intended.
Yeah, I picked that up.
I know. Your look told me you did.
Just over 10 minutes to play here in regulation. Woodland Hills down by 5, and a pass straight down the seam to Travis Thompson the second. And had Travis Thompson the second caught that football, he'd have been off to the races. But he didn't, and now it's 2nd and 10.
You got wide open somehow. But you're right, you got to come down with the football. It's interesting because he's wide open, he can't make the catch. The previous play, Courtney Jackson made the great catch in traffic. So 2 different situations, 2 different results. Woodland Hills will take the second of those.
10:01 clock stopped here in the fourth quarter. Woodland Hills down by 5. Thanks for joining us all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Live on our TV affiliates and on Facebook, as well as on msasports.net. Gateway motions, trips to the left as Walker is pressured. He'll dump it to the near side left where Courtney Jackson catches the football, sidesteps one Wolverine, cuts it back inside into Wolverines territory. He's cut from behind by Sidney Summers, and that's a touchdown-saving tackle by the linebacker. What a burst of speed by Summers there, Bobbio, as Summers absolutely sold out to prevent a Gators TD.
Well, that's a case of just not quitting. I think that Brady Walker, he knew he had the man out to the near side, but Courtney Jackson called his name, and Brady Walker was maybe going to tuck it under and run or get sacked, but he heard Jackson out on the left side as the safety valve called for the football, and the catch and run gets a big first down for Gateway inside the Woodland Hills 40-yard line.
This drive started at the Gateway 20. Now it's at the Woodland Hills 38. Gateway going to run an end around, but the Wolverines sniffed it out at least for the moment. But Jeremiah Joseph somehow was able to cut it back against the grain, spring forward, and pick up about 14 yards. And it's 1st and 10 for Gateway as they have seized the mojo back.
It's kind of an end around and a good cut because Woodland Hills had sealed the near side, but just an overrun by Sidney Summers. He was coming to the near side to try to get out there, and a good cutback to the opposite way to his right by Josephs, and a big pickup of 14. 2 big momentum-changing plays for Gateway. They've stemmed the tide with those 2 plays.
Brady Walker going to run the option to the near side left, feigns the pitch, feigns it twice. Now he'll be brought down by Sidney Summers around the 20-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play for Brady Walker.
I like the fact that he faked the 2 pitches, but if you're Gateway, you're going to tell your senior quarterback and your 3-year starter not to hold the ball out like that so much, because when he's faking those pitches, he did finally tuck it in the end, but hang it out there like the proverbial loaf of bread. You could easily get that slapped out of your hands and cause a turnover.
8:30 to play in regulation. Woodland Hills down 5. Gateway threatening. Ball at the Woodland Hills 20. Handoff going to Isaiah Cameron. And Cameron is brought down by Eric Oliver. Also in on the stop, Tyrell Barlow. A gain of 1. And it is 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 24 of the Wolverines.
Barlow did a good job of being aware. He got knocked to the ground, and he didn't quit. And then Oliver, the senior at 6'3", 233, the defensive end, chased in from behind and knocked down Cameron.
Cameron, the ball carrier again. Wrapped by Sidney Summers, and Summers is going to drive him back, but not before Cameron's forward progress got him to the 16-yard line to the 16-yard line.
I think he's going to be just short.
About 3.
Good strength. First of all, nice leg drive by Isaiah Cameron, but better strength by Sidney Summers. I thought that Cameron was going to spin off that tackle and just turn forward and get the first down, but Summers had none of it. It is 4th and a whole yard.
Cameron, the back next to Walker. Walker looks to the near sideline to get direction from his head coach. Now Gateway is going to set in a power shotgun formation. Cameron straight up the gut. He'll get enough for the first down. And the pile moves forward down towards the 13-yard line before the play finally ends. A pickup of about 3. And it's 1st and 10 for Gateway. The ball at the Wolverines 13.
57 yards unofficially now for Isaiah Cameron. That's good leg drive. He's got hit pretty close to the sticks by Howells, but he's able to keep it driving, keep the legs pivoting, and picked up a pivotal first down.
Cameron again, the ball carrier, straight up the middle, bouncing left, now cutting it back right, still driving his way forward down towards the goal line. It's not a touchdown, but it's 1st and goal for Gateway right at the 1-yard line.
Well, if you're rooting for the black and gold, this is a drive that the Gators needed. All the momentum in 23 had answered for Woodland Hills. Now they haven't got it into the end zone yet, faced with the 1st and goal from the 1, but
Again, Cameron is the ball carrier. He's wrapped in the backfield, but on second effort, he's able to lay back on a Wolverine, reach the ball across the goal line. And for the third time today, Cameron is into the end zone, and he extends the Gateway lead from 5 points to a much more comfortable 11.
3 times on that drive we've seen Cameron use the extra effort. You mentioned it, 3 touchdowns, 1 via the pass, which was the questionable touchdown at the end of the first half, but the last 2 one-yard runs for Cameron. The 5'8", 170-pound senior. Jenkins, the freshman, who replaced the good kicker, has been perfect on the extra points. Gateway is having a personnel issue on this PAT attempt. Their place kicker last year was Jordan Washington. It was all conference.
6:24 to play here in the fourth quarter. Woodland Hills down by 11. Kicker Jason Jenkins on to attempt the PAT.
You can tell he's the freshman just by looking at that shot right there.
Now let's give you the particulars on Jason Jenkins. 5 feet 2 inches tall, 105-pound freshman.
The numbers he wants us to tout are 4 for 4 in extra points, right?
Without a doubt. Gateway certainly taking advantage of this timeout in this special teams situation. Again, Woodland Hills on the road next week. First conference game of the year, first road game of the year against the Baldwin Highlanders. Then they return home here to the Wolverena to take on the Fox Chapel Foxes. But that 2 weeks away here in Turtle Creek. Next week, Woodland Hills again on the road to take on Baldwin in an Allegheny 9 matchup. So Jason Jenkins on to attempt this PAT. And that PAT is up and good. And a 12-point lead now for Gateway as they lead the Woodland Hills Wolverines by a score of 35-23. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Gateway Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Woodland Hills Wolverines rip off 23 unanswered points, but the Gateway Gators do answer back after Woodland Hills cut a Gateway lead from 28-0 to 28-23. And an 80-yard drive capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Cameron, his third TD of the game.
I've been mentioning throughout this second half that I think Woodland Hills needed some rhythm offensively, which they had definitely found in that stretch. Now with 6:24, that's still over a half of this fourth quarter remaining. You might need to tack on some urgency on the offensive side for Woodland Hills, being down 12 points. So 2 scores as far as getting the ball in the end zone a couple of times, but they've done it, cutting that 28-0 lead down to 5.
Surprise onside by the Gateway Gators. I think they may have been offsides as the flag came in along that far sideline by Gateway. They're wrestling for the football down at the bottom of the pile, but I don't think they're aware that there's a flag down, and whether it's illegal touching against Gateway or they were offsides, either way, it's going to negate this onside kick recovery.
I think it was Stankovic who came out of that.
Prior to the kick, encroachment by the kicking team.
Yeah, they were offside. It's a good surprise right there. I like the call, being up 12 points. You give up a touchdown, you still have a 5-point lead and take some time off the clock, but we're adding to the early resume of Jason Jenkins, the freshman.
And right there you saw on the Triangle Bar and Grill replay, Jenkins, as he approached the football, hesitated far too long and allowed his gunners to run up next to him and actually pass him on the way to the football. Woodland Hills again anticipating onsides as they send their second line closer up, but this time they'll boot it away. Rodney Denard going to return it from the 29-yard line. Denard very dangerous as he cuts to the far sideline into Gators territory to the 49-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
Even just with 6:15 left on the clock to start this drive, you take the field position. Denard, good patience. Didn't try to rush things as he went up the far sideline. You mentioned it, Adam, received that at the 29, so you're looking at a good field position anyway. Gets great field position, getting that football over midfield, and Woodland Hills starts this drive inside the Gators territory.
Two receivers right, tight end to the left of the formation. Power I is Jones, straight drop back. Steps up into the pocket. He's going to tuck. He's going to lean his way forward. He's going to pick up about 4 yards, bringing up 2nd down and about a half a dozen. And right there, that's another example of the strength of Daniel Jones, who we saw sometimes is just an absolute horse back there in the backfield.
Yeah, twice, maybe 3 times in the first half he refused to go down. He bounced off some tackles, and that time he did a good job to drag Cleveland forward to pick up the 3 yards, 4 yards. 6 foot, 218 for the senior Daniel Jones.
Clock rolling with 5:35 to play as Jones on a straight drop back, setting up the screen to Rodney Denard. Denard is met in the backfield. He's driven back, and they are going to say that his forward progress was stopped at the 45-yard line. I think had he not tried a second effort to try to push his way forward, they may have given him the benefit of the doubt around the 49, but instead his surge forward around the 45 cost Woodland Hills about 4 yards ultimately.
Could have used a black jersey. That's what Rodney Denard is saying. He had one at Tyrell Barlow. He was late getting there, and there were 5 and then 6, including Jacques Taylor and Tui Fumuina Brown making the tackle. That's a big play for Gateway. Turned a 2nd and 6 into a 3rd and 16.
Fa'umuina Brown. Told you I'd get it by the end of the game. 3rd and 16. Daniel Jones in the shotgun, rolling to his left, going to tuck, going to run. Inside of Gators territory, lowers the shoulder, drives his way to around the 45-yard line, so it's now 4th down and 6. And Tim Bostard's got a decision to make.
Fa'umuina Brown is in the right time. Years of Kiyomatu and Fuamata Malafala and Palomalo.
Chris Fuamatu Malafala.
Very good.
Thank you. One of my wife's favorites years back, playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4:36 to play in regulation. Woodland Hills down a dozen. Jones off of play action on 4th down and 6. He's going to have to heave Howitt. The pass complete to Michael Whitehurst. Now they're going to say he dropped the football sliding to the near boundary. Somehow the ball was torn away from Michael Whitehurst along the near sideline by Courtney Jackson.
Yeah, I think it was Jackson who actually got his hand in there and got it away from Whitehurst. Good job by Jones. Great patience under pressure and a good pattern by Whitehurst. But it was Courtney Jackson who got his hand in there. Definitely Whitehurst did not come out of that slide with the football on the near side.
Yeah, it seemed like when Jackson brought his right hand over top of Whitehurst as Whitehurst was sliding, he was able to kind of bat that ball just loose from his hands and forcing it to bounce off of the turf.
Another in the list of great plays that Courtney Jackson has made tonight for the Gateway Gators.
Boy, he has played a whale of a football game. 4:26 here in the 4th quarter. Woodland Hills trailing Gateway by 12. Brady Walker in the shotgun with trips to the left-hand side. Hand off on the delay to Isaiah Cameron, who's going to lower the shoulder and drive his way forward. Send it down to the sideline where Rick McIntyre standing right near Tim Bostard. You've had an opportunity to stand over there on that Woodland Hills sideline for a while. How do you think this very young coaching staff has adjusted to things under their helm?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been on the sideline for a lot of years as a player and as a coach, sat up in the booth and watched the sidelines, and I got to tell you, I'm not really seeing a tremendous difference in how the sideline's been organized, how the game's being run. Not seeing anybody panicking, not seeing anybody flipping out, losing it. I think the coaching staff has adjusted really well to some pretty difficult circumstances.
2 receivers to the near side left, 1 to the far side right as the handoff goes to Isaiah Cameron And Cameron will lower the shoulder, drive his way forward. Picks up about a half a dozen, bringing up 3rd down and 2.
77 yards, and a couple of touchdowns rushing for Isaiah Cameron. 62 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown through the air. So Isaiah Cameron has been a big factor in this game as well, along with Courtney Jackson, Brady Walker, et al. For the Gateway Gators.
Clock winding towards 3 minutes to play. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Cameron the sidecar to the left-hand side of Walker. Pitch to Walker. Walker, or rather pitch from Walker to Cameron. Cameron drives his way forward and tackle is made by Sidney Summers. We've said that a time or two today.
He has played well defensively, the junior. But again, simple play right there. Not Eric Oliver smelled it out, but a little bit too late. Although he did come and follow along to make the tackle, but it was 5 yards further downfield. And Summers was on top of Cameron. He's been good. Big drive for the Gators, their last touchdown drive after all the momentum that Woodland Hills had, cutting a 28-point deficit to 5. It's kind of taken some of the wind out of the sails of the Wolverines.
Walker going to run the option to the left-hand side. He'll cut it up himself down the near sideline. Finally shoved out of bounds by Jaden Lucas, but not before more than enough for a Gateway first down.
And it's probably going to be a personal foul on Lucas as well.
And we are going to have an official consult here, as they want to talk things over with Bill Heidkamp with the shove on the near boundary.
Would be half the distance.
After the play was over, dead ball personal foul by the defense. Half the distance penalty, first down.
So that shove by Jaden Lucas along the boundary cost Woodland Hills a good chunk of yardage, and Gateway now has the ball 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. And Gateway right now is 12 yards away from completely salting this game away.
Another encroachment.
Encroachment by the defense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
It was Caleb Brevard on that left edge. You can, when you're on the edge, very hard to get away when you're encroaching into the neutral zone as you're exposed over there.
Straight up the middle goes Isaiah Cameron.
Fumbled that ball.
He fumbled the ball. Did it cross the goal line with it in his hands? Did a Gator fall on it in the end zone?
The
or will it be Woodland Hills' ball?
Gators are reacting like they fell on it.
The officials trying to work this out. A Wolverine came out of the pile with the football. It's a touchback. It's a turnover. Woodland Hills is going to have the ball at the 20-yard line. Isaiah Cameron lost the ball approaching the goal line. He pats his chest, accepting culpability. And instead of a touchdown for the Gators, or at least 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, it's going to be a turnover for Gateway, and Woodland Hills with the ball with an opportunity to try to cut into this Gators lead 80 yards away from pay dirt.
He ran right, cut left.
Yeah, he absolutely lost the football,
it was
Bobby.
Brevard and Jones were just ripping at it, what you want to do.
Yep.
That's exactly what you want to do down there. The Gateway was reacting like they fell on it, but the Wolverines get the big turnover and they still have life, even though they're down 12.
So an absolutely spot-on call by the officials as Isaiah Cameron was approaching the 2-yard line. 2 Wolverines were tugging at the football, like you said. The ball was pulled away. There was a scrum for the football. From our vantage point, we couldn't tell who fell on top of it initially. Woodland Hills came out of the bottom of the pile with the football. The officials give it to the Wolverines, and it's 1st and 10 at the 20. Daniel Jones, he's held up. Then he's driven back. Down around his ankle, Jordan Stankovic, and then he's shoved back by a couple other Gateway Gators.
3rd sack of the game for the Gators. Their first since the opening 2 drives of the game. And looks like we got Woodson down on the field with some cramp issues. He was in and around that sack situation for the Gateway Gators.
And the Gateway player again is slow to get to his feet. That'll give us an opportunity to take a breather. 1:46 to play, quarter number 4. Woodland Hills trailing the Gateway Gators by a dozen, 35-23. It's the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Gateway Gators right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills trails Gateway 35-23. Woodland Hills scored 23 unanswered points, but Gateway answered back with a 1-yard touchdown run, capping off an 80-yard drive. That was the third touchdown of the game for Isaiah Cameron, and that really took the wind out of the sails for Woodland Hills, because what was a 5-point deficit turned into a 12-point deficit, and with under 2 minutes to play, that seems a bit insurmountable at this point, doesn't it, Bobby?
Indeed it does, and that's a good call, because that really, all the momentum was for Woodland Hills right there. You got to Gateway credit. They hadn't had a good drive since they scored early in the third quarter. And that just put Woodland Hills behind it. Now you got to see if you can try to get it done via the air of the Wolverines, trailing by 12 here late.
Jones forced to tuck the football. Now he's going to be met and brought down by a pair of Gateway Gators back near the 12-yard line. And Woodland Hills is being pushed back again. This time it's going to be third down and about 18.
I believe the correct terminology here is pinning their ears back. That's what the Gators are doing, knowing that Woodland Hills is in a passing situation. Alfaro missed the tackle, but Stankovic was there. Another sack for the Gateway Gators.
Third down and about 18 for Woodland Hills. The ball at their own 12-yard line. Less than a minute to play here as Daniel Jones is in the shotgun. Straight drop back, throws it across the middle. The pass intended for Michael Whitehurst is incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth down and 18. Let's send it back down to the sideline to Rick McIntyre. And Rick, earlier on you talked about how Woodland Hills was able to get some things going along the offensive line, but it seems like the return of Kanan Cleveland into the defensive line, number 55 for the Gators, has certainly turned things back in the Gators' favor along that defensive front.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. They seem like they've been kind of controlling the line of scrimmage a little bit better with him in there. Looks like he's got the cramping maybe under control. Woodson just went down a little while ago. Seems like the two of them have probably been down with cramps about 8 times, I think, between them. Pretty tough kids.
Punt unit on for Woodland Hills. As back in his own end zone is Michael Whitehurst, the senior receiver, who is also the punter. And he will get this one away. End over end kick that'll push Jeremiah Josephs back towards the 50-yard line. He lost his footing. And when he lost his footing, diving on top of him was Marcus Taylor. And certainly an ill-advised move there by Marcus Taylor, the senior two-way back.
Yep, he's down, and the whistle's going to blow, and he jumped on top of him. That's going to cost the Wolverines 15. Won't matter anyway. Gateway's in a position where they can put in the play call, the coach's favorite play call. Take a knee, the victory formation. So Gateway punched early. Woodland Hills with a huge counter punch in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter to cut the lead to 5, but Gateway was able to recover. Score a big touchdown, third of the game for Isaiah Cameron. We got
is declined. Dead ball personal foul, 15 yards, and that's going to be enforced, first down.
So 39.9 seconds to play here in regulation. Gateway will have the football deep inside of Woodland Hills territory. First team out there, Brady Walker. Looks like he's going to step under center in the victory formation here.
First time he's gone under center this entire game.
And Bobby, as I try to review my memory the best I can, I think this is the first time in a very long time that Gateway defeats Woodland Hills. I know that the Wolverines won the playoff game in 2012. I know they won last year at Gateway 37-21. And the Wolverines also beat the Gators 10-0 in the WPIAL championship game in 2009.
All told, in this series, since 1987, Woodland Hills is now 19-6 against the Gateway Gators. So just 6 times, just the 6th victory in the series against Woodland Hills for the Gateway Gators.
And the victory over Gateway some 30 years ago really is what put Woodland Hills on the map. And this is a big win for Gateway as they were able to stem the tide and prevent Woodland Hills from pulling off a miraculous comeback. A 12-point win for the Gateway Gators, 35-23. We're going to take a pause here, and when we return, it will be the Woodland Hills Football Network postgame show. Again, your final score. The Woodland Hills Wolverines fall to the Gateway Gators by a score of 35-23. Tune in to the Wolverines and the Gators on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
State Senator Jay Costa is proud to represent Pennsylvania's 43rd District since 1996 and is happy to support the Woodland Hills football team. If you have an issue concerning state government, contact one of Senator Costa's 3 local offices. Senator Costa's offices offer a variety of services for constituents. You can reach Senator Costa's Forest Hills office at 412-241-6690 or log on to senatorcosta.com. The Triangle Bar and Grill in Swissvale is a proud sponsor of the Wolverines and has been serving the Woodland Hills community for nearly 70 years. The Triangle, located on Monongahela Avenue, is the home of the Battleship, the sandwich that made Swissvale famous. Plus, the Triangle has a full menu of specialty sandwiches you're gonna love. Call the Triangle at 412-271-9885 to place your order now.
Life has its ups and downs. There are times when you or a loved one needs help. That's why you should know the name LGAR, Health and Rehabilitation Center. Located just minutes from the Monroeville Mall, the LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center has been known by locals for many years, and they excel in reputation, rehabilitation, recuperation, and residential living. The help and answers you need are just a phone call away at 412-825-9000. Also on the web at lgar.org. LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, a name you should know and a name you can trust.
Today's broadcast of Wolverine football was presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, LGAR Health and Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, Bush Brothers Car Care, The Barbers Inn in Swissvale, A-Boss Opticians, Fox's Pizza Tent in Turtle Creek, Web Landings, and LG3 Entertainment. This broadcast has been a presentation of A.W. Gusky Productions and LG3 Entertainment. Copyright 2017.
You're tuned in to Wolverine football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back here at the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills falls to Gateway 35-23 to begin the 2017 season and to begin the Timothy Bostard era as the Woodland Hills head coach. It got off to an inauspicious start, Bobby, but the Wolverines got their legs underneath them as things rolled on into the second half, and Woodland Hills ripped off 23 unanswered points. And when Rick McIntyre talked with head coach Tim Bostard at halftime, he talked about some of the particulars that he thought the Wolverines needed to do to get things rolling, and I think they did a good bit of those.
Could have been a lot worse. You're 28-0, you're thinking we could be mercy rolled. And for a good 12 to 14-minute stretch, Woodland Hills put it on Gateway to cut it to a 5-point game. So there's a lot of good that happened right there. Obviously, you're in week 0 or week 1, if you want to look at it that way. So there's always things you can do better, and a lot of things to do better, including not being down 7-0 14 seconds into this game. But you'll take a lot of good things out of this, and you go to the drawing board and try to get ready for conference play next week at Baltimore.
Let's send it down to the sideline where Rick McIntyre is going to join us. Rick, give us some of your analysis from what you were able to see down there on the field.
Overall, I think I had saw a lot of really encouraging things from this Wolverine team with the brand new coaching staff. They played hard right to the end of the game. Just from my personal experience as former coach and player, as a coach, when a game like this comes down to a couple plays, I think some of these coaches are going home and saying, if you take away that kickoff return, you take away that touchdown that was conceivably a fumble, it's a whole different game. But it's really easy to get sucked into that little bit of a downward swirl and lose focus on the next game. So they got to just rebound, regroup, and make it better for next week.
Well, we are going to step away one final time here on the Woodland Hills Football Network post-game show. And when we return, we will name the State Senator Jay Costa player of the game, as well as we will let you know what the Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home play of the game was. All of that as the Woodland Hills Football Network post-game show rolls on right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, presented by State Senator Jay Costa.
Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home, with locations in East Pittsburgh and Turtle Creek, is a member of the Hall of Excellence of the National Funeral Directors Association. This reflects the same pursuit of excellence by our Woodland Hills football team, cheerleaders, marching band, students, staff, and faculty. For over 110 years, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home has been honored to serve local families and to be a proud partner of the Woodland Hills communities. Bush Brothers Car Care Center in Swissvale has been a Monongahela Avenue institution for nearly 30 years. Bush Brothers is a full-service mechanic and tire shop for all types of vehicles. Whether you need mechanical work, alignment, state inspection, emissions testing, new tires, or just an oil change, Bush Brothers is the place for you. Bush Brothers Car Care Center, Monongahela Avenue in Swissvale, or give Martin and Jason a call at 412-351-5342. There are few things that guys like more than a great haircut at a real barbershop. And at the Barber's Inn on Washington Avenue in Swissvale, you'll find both. Plus, you can relax in style on supple leather sofas while watching their big screen HD TV. You can even shoot some pool while you wait. But most importantly, you'll walk out the door with a haircut or shave you're sure to love. Walk-ins are always welcome at the Barber's Inn in Swissvale. For more information, call 412-271-7434. And remember, real men come to the Barber's Inn. Today's broadcast of Woodland Hills football is brought to you by the Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club. Since 1905, Rotary clubs across the globe have brought business and professional leaders together to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. The Turtle Creek Valley Rotary Club meets every Friday at noon at Shelley Pie. Rotary, service above self.
You're tuned in to Wolverine Football, presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Winding down the post-game show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills falling to the Gateway Gators 23-25 to fall to 0-1 on the season, while Gateway starts off the year 1-0. The first win in a long time for Gateway over Woodland Hills, and they avenge a couple of losses, most recently against the Wolverines, including last year's 37-21 victory by Woodland Hills out at Gateway. Time to award our post-game superlatives, and we will start as we always do with our Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home play of the game. And today, it's pretty clear cut for the Wolverines. It was the 49-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Jones to Nazir Taylor. He just ripped the ball away from a defender and raced the rest of the way to the goal line.
Yeah, twice before that, Jones tried to hit Taylor, once on a fade pattern, once on a fly pattern, to no avail. But this time, the 6'1 senior did a great job, took it almost off the helmet of the defensive back on the near side, and was able to race and get inside the pylon. That was in the midst of the spurt that Woodland Hills had and brought them back to within 5 points. Good choice for our play of the game.
Rick, talk about that play. We saw just moments before that the great run by Rodney Denard. Then you add that to it, and it really gave the Wolverines a modicum of momentum headed into the latter stages of the third quarter. I think Rick's battery may have died.
No, Rick's brain died for a moment.
Okay.
I apologize. Yeah, I was actually on the far side of the field for that play. I didn't get a great view of it. Saw a nice looking spiral. Saw it was a great play call, and one hell of a catch going into the end zone. What I noticed was the team on the sideline was clearly not ready for point after. I don't think anybody on the sidelines was expecting the Wolverines to score that quickly.
And now let's talk about our state senator Jay Costa, player of the game. And there was a lot of offensive players that made contributions tonight, but there was one name we called virtually countless times, and that was Sidney Summers. He had so many tackles and was such an integral part of the Woodland Hills defense. And I think, Bobby, what was so noticeable is how he was able to lead the defense into settling themselves down after things looked like they could have gotten out of control very quickly early on.
Most times your middle linebacker is your leader on defense, whether he's a vocal leader, whether he's calling the plays in the huddle, whether he's making tackles. I believe Sidney Summers, the junior, made the first tackle of the game, and it was evident he was the best player on defense for Woodland Hills. He made tackles all over the field, including on special teams, and he was very evident, very good on the defense, and that's a great sign for the junior middle linebacker, Sidney Summers.
Our state senator Jay Costa, player of the game, is Sidney Summers. And Rick, his dad was our teammate back in the mid-'90s, and boy, I'll tell you what, he's got to be proud of his boy today.
Yeah, I'm sure he's proud. I'm a little embarrassed that we're that old at this point. But the play that really stood out for me, I think he made the tackle right around where I'm standing here on about the 20, 25-yard line, where it was going to be a touchdown. He made an incredible burst of speed to catch up from behind and bring the runner down.
Well, Rick, a great start to your broadcasting career. Welcome to the Woodland Hills Football Network, and we look forward to you moving up into the booth to join Bobby next week.
I look forward to being able to sit down.
I can imagine so. Well, again, Rick, thanks a lot for all of your contributions down on the field. And Bobby O, thanks a lot for what you've done here in the booth, adding to our Woodland Hills Football Network broadcast. Welcome aboard.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me aboard. Look forward to it. Again, thing sticks out to me, no quit, because you're down 28-0. It's very easy to pack it in. Wolverines did not do that. You kind of get a fresh slate next week because you're going to conference play. You won't be there. We'll try to get it done against the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders on the road to start the Big 9 conference play.
Yeah, the Allegheny 9 conference starts in earnest next Friday night, and it will be live right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, starting right around 10 minutes until 7 o'clock. Bob Orquist and Rick McIntyre will be on the call for you, as I will be tending to duties at the University of Pittsburgh. Got to thank all of our television crew for doing a great job with all of our new bells and whistles. We really got as much to you as we could, considering the short period of time we had to prepare for all of our new equipment, and things really, really worked out well. A special thank you to our director, Larry George III, as well as our graphics designer, Lee Schaefer III, for really doing a great job of getting us ready for this game number 1 in the 2017 season. Again, Woodland Hills loses to Gateway today, 35-23, and they take on Baldwin next Friday night. For Bob Orquist, Rick McIntyre, and everybody here on the Woodland Hills Football Network, I'm Adam Gusky, and we will talk to you again next week from Baldwin.
Today's broadcast of Wolverine football was presented by State Senator Jay Costa on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Wolverine football is also brought to you by the Triangle Bar and Grill, a Rehabilitation Center, Patrick T. Lanigan Funeral Home,